serious as I think it is, because they knew it was serious right after the game. On his way to get his surgery done, and now he's in rehab, and hopefully he says he'll be ready by week 1. We'll see what happens when the season starts. But I think we saw how Andy changed the last time a significant injury happened to Patrick Mahomes with the kneecap to the side. Mahomes didn't miss much time. It wasn't that serious. Came back. But we saw Andy Reid take something out of the playbook and never go back to it again, ever. Not once. And I think Andy Reid knows the value of what Patrick Mahomes is to him, because Andy Reid got to, 4 NFC Championship games and 1 Super Bowl, but never got it done. And then we had Alex Smith here. They got to the playoffs, couldn't get past the first round or couldn't get past the second game, couldn't beat the Pittsburgh Steelers where you didn't allow them to score a touchdown. Patrick Mahomes comes around, and Andy Reid now is this top 3 in wins, 3-time Super Bowl champion. He's got all these accolades, and it's no secret that the key that he needed to get the car in motion was Patrick Mahomes, and he didn't have that key last year, and that key was significantly damaged. And I think that, seeing that happen, knowing that that is now there, he will, in fact, be like, all right, that's enough. My most prized possession of my offense and my team absolutely was torn down. And I can't let that happen again. So similar to I'm not going to run a QB sneak anymore is similar to me, at least in my mind, that since it was Patrick Mahomes and what his significance is with the success of this team, Andy Reid will see that and say, I can't allow that to happen again.
Yeah, and look, he got injured late in the year, and for whatever reason, all season long, the offense wasn't working. And to me, I continue to look back, and it's like Patrick didn't really have a bad year. The offense didn't have a bad year. Again, top 10, top 5, and in every offensive category. I think, again, for me, you better focus more on not having turnovers and not having penalties and not allowing your players to not be held accountable for those penalties. Because to me, at the end of the year, yeah, Mahomes got hurt. That was only a couple of games. It wasn't like he missed the entire season. They were making mistakes. They were playing sloppy football. And that's the thing I think that Andy Reid really needs to look at in the mirror, because, again, I still don't think they lost on offense because of a talent issue. They lost on offense because of a stupidity issue. And I don't say that lightly. What I mean by a stupidity issue are constant penalties from the same person, penalties from the same person on top of penalties from the same person, and that person probably will not be here next year, obviously, right? But then the turnovers that have happened as well. I mean, I think that's where you have to look at Patrick Mahomes, and you have to find a way to take the aggressiveness away without taking the aggressiveness away. You've got to be smart when you're making plays. Travis Kelce had a couple of bad ones as well. Obviously, the Houston game, the Philadelphia game, that we all know about. That's not Andy Reid calling the wrong plays. That's focus. That's lack of concentration. That's, whatever the case may be. How does Andy Reid get those guys back into being focused and not making the plays in the game that absolutely obliterate a season or kill a drive or whatever it is, turn the football over? How does Andy Reid get that focus back in those players, guys? Because I think that's going to be the number one thing this offseason for all of these returning players. All of you guys were lazy last year in your effort, right? And that's what it was. I mean, lazy, tired, however you want to say it just wasn't there. How does Andy Reid refocus those guys to make sure that they understand that when 2026 starts, if you do the little things wrong, you ain't doing the big things, and that means playing in games. And that's what Andy Reid really needs to tighten this year, the screws on all of that, and to make sure that these guys aren't going out there and making those critical pre-snap penalties, in-play penalties, bad decisions. He has got to be the guy this year that holds everybody accountable from those mistakes, because that, in my opinion, is ultimately what did them in. Not as much as the talent, but with the way that the talent didn't execute.
I mean, to me, it's just like the offense has had issues more than just 4 or 5 games that you just picked out this year. To me, it's been the year before. Now, you can say the year before that was, well, look who he had at wide receiver. But again, like, those are the guys they brought in, right? Like, we talked about Jerome Tang earlier about the guys that shouldn't be able to wear the jersey. Well, I hate to break it to you, but I assume Andy Reid had a very large part of bringing some of those guys in, or, advocating to go get a Kadarius Toney and MVS, guys like that, and it didn't work. And I think mostly because he was like, Pat will figure it out. Like, we'll just trust Pat to do it. So, yes, penalties are egregious, but they're no stranger to the street of what the Kansas City Chiefs have had over the last 3 years. Penalties have been there. So that's, to me, I think the main thing is that, like, he finally put Patrick Mahomes to his breaking point, and it broke because the offense hasn't changed. And again, we talked on the Chiefs off-season schedule. Somebody probably might have been you, but like, why would they change? Or maybe it was Cody that said, what makes you think that, like, you know, you had all this success? Why change it? If it's worked, it's worked. Well, we talked earlier that the NFL constantly changes over time. You miss a year of the NFL, it's like missing 5 years in life. And I think that's the one thing where I think Andy Reid will have to change his offense, which then will give everyone like a new perspective of what they are trying to do, get everybody on the same page. I'm with you on Juwan Taylor. The penalties were egregious. It was tiresome, but that was not just a this year problem. That was the year before's problem. The offense was a last year's problem and a year prior's problem. And now with your quarterback who suffered a knee injury that needs surgery and time and rehab to fix because it's serious, I think is enough for Andy Reid to be like, okay, not only do we need to take accountability to these guys, we also need to change up what we're doing offensively. And that's me because I just watched my quarterback suffer a knee injury.
And you have to also understand, too, if you're Andy Reid, that Patrick Mahomes is not getting younger. I mean, he's now 30 with a bum knee, right? And we know what we've seen with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick is no longer in his 20s. He's not going to be the same type of quarterback as time moves along. That's just reality. That's human nature. That's evolving. You're getting older. You're not going to be able to do those same type of things. And so I think you're right. You do have to take the pressure off of Patrick Mahomes. You have to find a way to say, hey, we just can't rely on our quarterback. I mean, Mike McDaniel's saying that out in L.A. right now. We just can't continue to rely on Justin Herbert to go out there and win games. And you may say, oh, that's Justin Herbert. This is Patrick Mahomes. This is 30-year Patrick Mahomes with a rehab knee and a rebuilt knee, and you can't continue to think that it's 25-year-old Patrick Mahomes that is going to go out there and make those plays. And as you get older, as you know, like just watching your grandparents, they have people wiping their ass now because they need help. You know, so as you get older, you're going to need help. And Patrick Mahomes, as good as he is, he's at that point in his career where if they want to take the next step, they are going to have to get him help. It is no more relying on Patrick to go out there and win everything.
Yeah, I mean, I think we're this problem has existed. That what Patrick Mahomes has masked is what you've said. Like he can't do it anymore. So that would indicate that he's been doing it, which means these problems have been here. He's just been masking them. So this is the Chiefs now having to come pay due for not doing not putting in the work these last few years. That FAU missed pick, like not revamping this defense these last few years. This offense hasn't been above 23 points per game since 2022.
Yeah, it's been a while that the offense has been putting up these numbers.
It's been anemic for a long time. The running game, this is not new. We've been talking about running back for years, trying to find someone, and they've ignored it. And Patrick Mahomes will be able to do all the same things, I guarantee you, that he was when he was 25. Guarantee it. I know that he will be, but that's not the point. The point is that you can't win football games like that consistently, even when Patrick Mahomes was 25. They won Super Bowls. They were well-rounded teams. They were great teams.
Yeah.
They were great offensive lines with great defense and the best coaching staff in the NFL. Then you had Patrick Mahomes. These last couple of years, they haven't done that, and we've seen what's happened.
Yeah.
He's going to be able to do all those things. You just have to have it be at the right moments.
And I think that the discipline starts with understanding your own self. Like, how can you discipline everybody else when you don't discipline yourself first? And when you don't realize what your problem is that it's what you're creating, then how can you go out there and say that these other guys aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing when you're not doing what you're supposed to do, which is evolving and staying up on the league, which is what he's always done.
And it got to a point this year. I mean, we were the first ones to talk about the predictability of this offense, right? We were the first ones to talk about it. And that day we started talking about it, everybody in the country jumped on the bandwagon. We set the tone on that it became predictable. And then everybody else started to say, oh, it's predictable, because it was a predictable offense. But what happens if we don't ever start talking about that predictability of the offense, right? Does everybody else realize it's a predictable offense? Do we start to hear about the predictability of the offense? So I'm glad we had that conversation. It was a hard one to have, but it was one that was needed because I think it did wake a lot of people up.
No doubt. Speaking of predictable, it's predictable that Ben Maller joins us every Thursday at 7:17. So he is next here on 96.5 The Fan, followed by Mac Morey's One Word. Your home for Kansas City Sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you, my friends over at Golden Oak Lending have cured our blues. We've had a relationship with them for well over a decade, and I love our relationship with Golden Oak Lending because they do save us money. About every 6 months, we take another free mortgage checkup just to find out where we are in our mortgage life, right? Are there rates out there that are better than what we have? Can we consolidate some debt or do a home repair? Golden Oak handles everything for us, and they're great people to have on your side. And that's why I encourage you to take that free mortgage checkup with Golden Oak Lending. And like I say all the time, it is risk-free. There's no paperwork or credit card required. It's an easy conversation with my friends at Golden Oak Lending. They'll answer the phone and you'll say, hey, I want to take the free mortgage checkup. And they'll say, all right, tell us about yourself. And you'll tell them all about your financial situation and where you want to go and what you want to accomplish. Then Golden Oak gets to work. They'll find out if they've got a mortgage better than the one that you're in. And if they do, it's awesome. You're on your way. If they don't, they'll tell you to sit tight for a couple of months, and they'll continue to look and find a mortgage that's better than the one you have. Golden Oak's average cash-out customer saves $1,104 per month, and then you'll go 2 months without making a mortgage payment. So call them today, 913-890-GOLD. That's 913-890-GOLD, and let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
I hope you're sitting down. The ACA Marketplace has announced significant increases on monthly premiums with deductibles over $10,000. You can enroll with Matt B. and KC at BBS Insurance's Freedom of Choice plan now. You don't have to wait. Their plan lets you use any doctor, has zero outpatient deductibles, and it's 30 to 60% lower costs than most Obamacare plans. Also, there's no income disclosure required, so no potential tax penalties. If you are a small business owner or pay for your own health insurance, you're uninsured, you're on COBRA, or your employer coverage is just too expensive. Call Matt B. and KC for an instant quote over the phone at 816-205-4664. That's 816-205-4664. Or go to bbsinsurance.net. That's bbsinsurance.net. They will customize a plan chosen and managed by you, not the government.
Booth Creek Wagyu knows the only thing better than love in the air this Valentine's Day is the aroma of authentic American full-blooded Wagyu steaks and beef on the grill. That's why Booth Creek has put together a world-class package of premium Wagyu steaks and buttery, succulent lobster tails ready for you to impress your sweetheart at both Booth Creek Wagyu locations at 95th and Knoll and 135th and Metcalf, or delivered anywhere in the country at boothcreekwagyu.com. Make sure this Valentine's Day is well done with Booth Creek Wagyu.
Too many tools, too much stress, and way too many bills.
Odoo replaces it all. One connected platform for every part of your business, so you can work faster, smarter, and for less. Odoo, the only software you'll ever need. Try it free today at odoo.com. That's ODOO.com.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Heading into downtown, 71 northbound, a little slow as you cross over into the downtown loop. 169 highway southbound gets heavy before the bridge. Stay sluggish. Once you get down to 35, things move better. Lee Summit, US 50 westbound, slow rolling from Chipman to 470. Allen Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
It is time to talk to our guy, Ben Maller of Fox Sports Radio. Of course, you can catch him overnights right here on 96.5 The Fan, and it's all brought to you by our friends at The Landing in Liberty. And Ben, now that the Super Bowl is over, we've put it all to bed. How do you look back on this 2025 NFL season? Like, what is your biggest takeaway from what we just witnessed over the last 20 weeks?
Well, there's a lot of, it's good to be on with you guys. There's a lot of owners that are very happy because this is what they all claim to want, parity. And you say, well, it's not parity. Seattle was the number 1 seed, and they won the Super Bowl, so it's not really to me, it's parity. Like, I didn't think Seattle was that great. They got some help in Week 16. There was that phantom 2-point conversion, which gave them the number 1 seed, as it turned out. And as much as they're talking about this is going to be back, and everyone who wins the Super Bowl says they're going to be back, I think we'll see 2 different teams in the Super Bowl next year, and the Patriots are going to have a drastic fall from where they were because they're going to play a tougher schedule. And, boy, Drake May. Can you have a worse performance for the first 3 quarters of the Super Bowl than Drake May did? Woo-wee. Terrible.
It was bad. His left tackle was bad in that game. And so you're looking at those 2 teams, Seattle and New England. I'm not going to ask you which one has the better opportunity to be back because I think we all think it is Seattle. But what does New England got to do to maintain their place on top? Because Mahomes is coming back, Josh Allen's coming back, Burrow's coming back.
Yeah, they're stuck between the devil and the deep blue sea at this point, basically, because they're going to have to spend more money. They got to improve the offense. They got to get some more playmakers. It would appear that they have to get some more offensive linemen, although some of that was on Sam Darnold. Like, there were at least 10 throws that were there that he did, or not Sam Darnold, Drake May, that Drake May did not complete in that game. So he choked. But you start trying to get some better playmakers. Like, they got to improve the wide receivers. They don't really have that explosive guy. They got to try to find that guy. So probably the draft, I would think, right? You're not going to sign anybody who's good as a wide receiver is not going to be available. So good luck on that.
Ben, I want to get with you on the other side of the field, the winning side, the Seattle Seahawks, because I believe the question I had for you last week was, do you need to see more from Sam Darnold? And I believe your response was, yeah, win the Super Bowl. What does the rest of Sam Darnold's career look like in Ben Maller's crystal ball?
Well, he's probably going to play another 7 or 8 years at least. You know, he's been around. I think he's already been in the NFL for 8 years, which is crazy. I don't know how that's possible. It seems like it was just yesterday he was drafted losing games for the Jets, and now here we are. But he's a made man, right? Isn't that the way that works, guys? You're a made man. You win a Super Bowl, you're a made man. I did make the point. I got some heat from my friends in Seattle because I pointed out that, yes, Sam Darnold is one of 34 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl. However, he's still sitting at the kiddie table next to Nick Foles and Trent Dilfer and like Joe Flacco and these different the lower tier quarterbacks. That won, but he won, and everyone's going crazy for him. I do not like the revisionist history. Like, there's some people trying to make it seem like all of these problems were not Sam Darnold's fault up until the last couple of years. Like, it was just he didn't play for good teams. He's like some kind of mad genius, Sam Darnold. He was being held back by the man. I find that a little offensive because there were a lot of plays that Sam made. I remember, especially with the Jets. Yeah, he didn't have great coaching, but he didn't help himself when he played for the Jets either. So it takes a couple people there to tango. So, but he'll be around. He's not going to stay in Seattle for that long, but he'll bounce around and he'll haunt me. Sam Darnold's going to haunt me like the Patriots haunted him.
Well, Sam Darnold's one of those guys, though, I think, where you look at and, like, it's okay to get better as your career progresses. It's like when some guy comes into the NFL or Major League Baseball, that's it. We want to just decide that first year, that's it. We've all made our decisions, and there's no way you can get better. And Sam Darnold is like one of those guys who actually has gotten better as his career progressed, which I think it feels like, anyway, an anomaly in sports now.
Yeah, well, normally if you don't get a second second act. He's on his fifth act. Like, he's the first guy ever to win the Super Bowl on his fifth team. But think about what had to happen, though, for this. Like, see, this is my issue. Now it's going to be like, well, we don't need to get another Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen or one of those guys because Sam Darnold won the Super Bowl. Okay, so in order for Sam Darnold to win the Super Bowl, you had to have the number one defense in the NFL. You needed the officials. I mentioned the Week 16 thing. And you also needed the Chiefs to have Mahomes to have a down year and to get hurt. And, Josh Allen to throw how many interceptions, how many mistakes against the Broncos in that game. And then, if all the planets line up, yeah, you can win with a guy like Sam Darnold. But I wouldn't bet on it. I still don't trust him. I know he won the Super Bowl and all that. It's a big game. If it's Seattle against Kansas City, they play down the line. It's Mahomes versus Sam Darnold. I'm not putting my money on Sam Darnold. I'm not, to make a play late in the game. I'm not doing it.
What is the what's the Los Angeles perspective of the Kansas City Chiefs? Because a lot of people have them, plus 1,500, plus 1,600 to get back to that game that we just watched last Sunday. Let alone be a team in their own division where the Chargers are getting a lot of love. I think they deserve it. I think they have a good roster. They have a good acquisition in an offensive coordinator this offseason, and Jim Harbaugh seems to win all the time. And like Sam Darnold, Jim Harbaugh needs a few years to kind of show you what he's really worth. What is the perspective from Ben Maller on the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think we're just kind of waiting to see what they actually do here. They clearly have to upgrade the roster. They just that offense it became a plodding. Even though you have Mahomes, the play, you need more playmakers, better playmakers. That's obvious. That's kind of waiting and see. To me, this is a year. You look at the gambling odds, and it's whoever is really aggressive here and adds to the roster will become at least the betting favorite. And on the prediction market and all that stuff going into next year. So it's really how aggressive are they going to be? I mean, nothing's happened yet, right? I can't really break down DeMarco Murray being hired as the running back coach. That doesn't really do much for me. So we'll see. And I mean, it's going to start soon too, right? Because we've got the franchise tags are coming up. And then after that, the first wave of free agency and all that. So yeah, like the Chiefs are in that weird area. They're at the fork in the road where if they do have a good offseason, improve the roster, and assuming Mahomes comes back and all that, the way he should come back, they'll be right back. This is a favorite in the division. But if they kind of futz around and they're not aggressive, then how low can you go? I mean, you can't go that low as long as you have Mahomes, right? You can at least be kind of in the middle, but you got to be better than that.
Well, with Mahomes, too, though, I mean, you wasted this year. There's no way to get around that. What happens if they have another 6-11 type year? What are we saying about this team, this coach, this coaching staff, this front office, if the Chiefs have a year again like they did this year with Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I think that's a great point. I mean, you start looking ahead. Every year there's 10 coaches that'll let go. You're not going to fire Andy Reid, but if they have another stinker this year, it's going to be like, Andy, you're getting older. Maybe, you might want to become a senior advisor. We'll bring you to the landing so you can eat the Ben Maller chicken fingers and maybe your pretzel, Bob, and just come down and hang out and all that stuff. But I think you have to look at that. If they have a really bad year, back to back, you're allowed one, right? You're allowed one. Okay, it happens. Tom Brady had some sninkers. It happens with the Patriots, but you can't have back-to-back bad years. Can't do it.
No, you can't have it when you're, quarterback's in his prime still. You can't miss the playoffs that way. Ben, what's a safer bet? Shohei Ohtani wins MVP this year, or Paul Skeens wins back-to-back Cy Youngs?
I'm gonna go Ohtani because the media still's in love with him. I mean, he's playing for the Pirates. I mean, it's tough to trust anybody in Pittsburgh. Although, will he finish the year in Pittsburgh? That's the thing, right? Is he going to raise a ruckus, Paul Skeens, to get traded out of there and go play for the Yankees or the Red Sox, or probably not the Dodgers, but get out of Pittsburgh? But yeah, going into the year, I would bet on Ohtani. The baseball writers who vote for that stuff, they are obsessed with Ohtani. It's great. He's fun. I mean, listen, I'm not going to rip the guy. I love him. Obviously, he's a great player. I don't love him as much as like Ken Rosenthal loves him. I'm not at that level.
Yeah. Are you also at that level, though, too, where you realize the biggest story of the baseball season is going to be this work stoppage stuff? I mean, Boris has already put out the crumbs, yesterday, crying poor and all that kind of stuff for the players. I have a feeling like I was going to ask you the biggest baseball story going into the spring, but I think we all know what it is. It's the unrest that's with labor again in baseball.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to – I don't want to focus on that too much. It is obviously huge, and Scott Boras, I was amazed that Scott Boras revealed he has 160 employees. That blew me away. He has 160 people that work at his agency, and I knew Scott a little bit back in the day, but yeah, there's a lot of the ratcheting of tensions between both parties, and they're sending these little. Right now, we're at the part where they're sending these subtle things out. But the fact that contracts they baked into contracts that there's going to be a work stoppage and you're going to get paid X amount of money, and you'll get paid more like the following year because there probably won't be a season. But I'm going to be optimistic that there will be a work stoppage, but they're not going to miss an entire year. There'll be a partial situation. The biggest problem in baseball, I was talking to somebody last week at that, I guess it's Influencer Row. It used to be Radio Row. Now it's Influencer. Boy, those people are annoying, Bob. Oh, my God. And Dusty. Anyway, one of my people that is connected in that world was the TV element is a huge disaster for – they have to figure this out. And the revenue is not there for television right now because it's all disjointed because of the local cable channel. I guess it was called FanDuel now. They're going belly up. And so in order for them to figure out the financials of the players, they got to figure out the money. They need somebody to be the sugar daddy, whether it's NBC or ESPN or Fox or somebody to buy the regional packages. And if they don't get that, if they don't get a sugar daddy to come in there, I don't know what they're going to do because the system they have right now is not working where certain teams are on their own broadcasting. They're not getting enough people to pay for it in some of these markets, as I understand it. It's a huge issue.
Well, that's unfortunate. Hopefully that gets resolved. Maybe you can go buy all the baseball packages and just give it to us for free. I got
about, Dusty, I think if we pool all our money together, we can come together like $12, and that should be enough, right? We'll throw the $12 in, and we're good to go on that.
What do you think they would want for that, though? I mean, when you think about it, like because I think what should happen is ESPN should just grab it all and throw it up on their app where everybody's going anyway, right? But if they do go this regional route, like what kind of money are we talking about?
Yeah, they're trying to figure it out. But from what I've heard, they want one broadcast company to control. You can control you can control the Royals, and the problem is the Dodgers and Yankees, and I think the Red Sox have such a sweetheart deal. And if somebody's going to pay all that money to buy the rights to the Royals and the Rays and the Tigers and the Giants, they're going to want LA, they're going to want New York, they're going to want Boston, and those teams they own their own channel. So they're not going to give that up without some kind of lawsuit. That's the problem. Because somebody will pay for the baseball rights if you included the big market teams, but they all have their own deal. The Cubs have their own channel in Chicago, so that's the part of it that's messed up. That's why they get paid a lot of money to figure it out while they sit in their mansions out in the Hamptons. They're in New York.
Exactly. Well, Ben, we appreciate the time. Hopefully you don't piss Joey Porter off, and we'll talk to you again next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
That's Ben Maller of Fox Sports Radio with us right here on 96.5 The Fan, all brought to you by the Landing in Liberty.
One word.
First name is Blake, and he goes on a cruise. He goes on a Caribbean cruise.
Katie Holmes.
No. Ah!
Are you listening?
What's your least favorite thing about working with yourself?
Body odor. You get one word.
On the count of three, name your favorite dinosaur. 1, 2, 3. Velociraptor.
This is one word on Fescoe and Dusty.
1, 2, 3.
Oatmeal raisin. On a Friday Eve, here we go. One word rolling through some headlines, baby. There's a lot of them. Some of them came last night, two of which we'll start with the audio over there in Manhattan as Jerome Tang. Man, he's had enough, and he's like pissed.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. It is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right.
They're still running.
I have no answer, no words. So y'all got two questions. So whoever want to ask two questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed.
I'm like pissed.
He's like pissed. Not quite pissed yet, but he's like pissed.
Comes after a home loss to Cincinnati by like 30. 29 points.
People were wearing bags in the crowd. The one word that I will use is pathetic. That's a pathetic answer and a pathetic way to handle a press conference and a pathetic basketball team. I mean, that's the word that I will use because I really lost respect for Jerome Tang for doing that, man. You recruited those players. You're a college coach. I know they're getting paid now, and it's okay to criticize. But when you're the head coach of a team and you're saying these kids don't deserve to wear that uniform, well, you're the one who recruited those kids. What does that say about you? So I find it pathetic that Jerome Tang is blaming the players for all of the failures this year at K-State.
My one word would be crash, as in crash out. That is the writing on the wall. See it all the time in coaching. You've seen it with Brandon Staley at the Chargers, right? When he was like, I'll call the defense. I'll worry about that.
Yeah, that's right.
Gone.
Yeah.
The Bears are who we thought they were, and we let them off the hook.
Denny Green.
Gone.
Talk to you later.
Can't coach them. Can't be them. Not going to coach them. Gone. So, it's time.
I mean, you can't go on. You really can't if you're K-State.
That's also a guy that knows he's got a buyout, so he can say whatever
he can say whatever
wants.
the hell he wants. Wouldn't it be awesome to know that you had like $18 million just sitting there? Yeah, and anytime you really wanted it, you just go out there and blame the student athlete.
All right. We'll keep going. Cool Super Bowl story here. Cooper Kupp joined Travis and Jason on New Heights. A.J. Barner did as well. Cooper Kupp explains that A.J. Barner touchdown before we hear from Barner about it, too.
His touchdown was almost a disaster.
Whoa! Almost a disaster.
There was a problem. I think it was on the wristband, but we called the play. Jackson is out at the time he's going through his protocol to get back out. The call ended up being like the formation was backwards to what the play call was. I see A.J. running towards me. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm about to run the wrong route. So I changed it on the fly. We almost had a complete disaster.
Let's go! I just caught wind of that. And you know how it is, Trav. I heard yada yada, why scissors? I'm like, all right, bet. I know the play. Scissors, air this thing out.
Not on me, baby.
I know where to line up. You boys line up. Let's get this damn play called.
One word there.
I think it's fun to look back at some of the big moments and see how they really weren't big moments, but they were messed up moments, right? You see a lot of that. Cool is the word that I'll use. And it also shows you, too, how good athletes really are, that they're able to adjust kind of on the fly like that. It's not all a physical game. It's a mental game as well. You got some brains out there. They're like, uh-oh, I got to do something a little bit different here. And you change it on the fly. I think that's fun. I like those backstories.
Yeah, I think my one word on this is veteran. Cooper Kupp, a.k.a. Hall of Famer in the future.
Yes.
Knowing, all right, this is something that we got to fix real quick, and then it turns into be a Super Bowl touchdown that pretty much iced the game, right? Like, that was it, right? That was put it on, icing on the cake, it's over, we're done. This is probably too much for New England to come back to, and really it was either that or the pick
3-0 was too much from New England.
To be fair, I got nothing for you.
From one story to another, football to baseball, this is Greg Maddux and his catcher, Jeff Bagwell, talking about, well, I'll let you listen.
Hitter's a creature of habit. It's something I believe in. And I think hitters remember success. So they're not going to remember, getting the ball up and in and that they pop up as opposed to the home run that they hit off you, last month.
We're regular season, and we were winning 8-0. It was easy game in the 8th inning. And he told me, don't throw anything inside on Bagwell. Call everything outside. And I said, okay. I think it was somebody out. And he wants to go inside. And I, okay, it's your game. So I went inside, called inside. Bagwell hit 1,000 mile.
Oh, boy. Bagwell way back.
And I was mad. And I was like, what are you doing? And he goes, they got a good team. We got a good team. We're going to play them in the playoff. He's going to wait for that pitch. 3 months later, we're in the playoff, bases loaded in the 7th. We threw 3 straight changes and struck him out. And I was walking to the dugout. He goes, hey. And I look at him. He said, you remember 3 months ago, 2 months ago? And I said, no, I don't. He was looking for that pitch, the homer that he hit. And I was like, this guy.
And that was Eddie Perez talking about Jeff Bagwell and the battles that him and Greg Maddux had.
The word that I will use for this one is elite.
Hey.
That is elite. Greg Maddux is one of the greatest of all time.
He is the greatest of all time.
He is elite. And that right there shows you why he's elite. And we used to say this a lot, about Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. And, in these preseason games or in practice or in a game, you used to do something just to make the other team think and prepare. Josh and I talked about that all the time. Oh, they're just doing that to make this team prepare and think about it for an entire week. The Chiefs used to win games on Monday and Tuesday because they would have people thinking about stuff that they were never going to do, but they were preparing for stuff. They were putting stuff on tape. And that's exactly what Greg Maddux did. A useless regular season game, knowing that they were going to see those guys in the future. All right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pitch this guy, and he's going to think this is how it's going to be in the playoffs. And then the playoffs are going to come, and it's going to be the total opposite of what you were expecting. That is an elite veteran move right there. And there's not many people in all sports that would have the wherewithal to think of something like that.
My one word would be Ed, as in Ed Reed. You brought that up, Mac, when we were before the show, that he did that to Peyton Manning. He let Peyton Manning throw a touchdown, knowing they were probably going to see him in the playoffs, baited him in the playoffs. Manning throws the same pass. Ed Reed picks him
Yeah,
off.
exactly.
And Ed Reed is what, Mac?
He's elite.
There we go.
He is. Yeah.
Yeah, he's elite. He's one of the best. One word, this was announced yesterday. New ASB floor. We've seen this overseas. We've seen this in a couple of different venues. It's a LED glass floor that the Big 12 is going to have in their Big 12 tournament. Yeah. They actually had it, I believe, last year in some of those games, and that's what we complained about, how bad it looked on the TV, the lighting and stuff. Hopefully they change some of that. But one word on the ASB glass floor in the Big 12 going along with it.
Will Glass Peterson play on the glass floor?
So one word's Peterson.
I mean, cool. I don't know what I have to see this thing first before I.
You should look it up. It's cool.
No, I have.
Yeah.
but I mean, like real, like during a game and stuff like that.
Tuesday you can go see Jerome Tang K-State. I bet
that
you
is
could walk
true.
in. Dude.
I'd have
free
to be
admission with brown paper sack.
Come see the glass floor in Tang's last game. Paper bag included. Free.
Oh, where'd you get that Hy-Vee?
Wear your Hy-Vee bags to the K-State game on Tuesday night. I like that.
There's no helpful smile in any aisle in
not
Manhattan.
A K-State. No, it's not.
Oh, Dolly, I'm hot today. Ooh. Coming up next, it is Smash or Pass. We'll do a little athlete and sports edition mixed in with food edition here on 96.5. The Fan. Smash or Pass next.
Smash. This is Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Guys, Hy-Vee has us covered this Valentine's Day. No matter how you celebrate, Hy-Vee has everything we need to make Valentine's Day special. I love it because it's a one-stop shop for everything. Flower arrangements. They've got beautiful floral arrangements for everybody. You can pick them up or have them delivered. Hy-Vee also has home-cooked meal options where they'll do everything, and then you will look like the superstar in the kitchen. And so many great gift ideas as well, including chocolate and retail gift cards. Just one stop to make this the sweetest Valentine's Day ever, only at Hy-Vee.
It's Thirsty Thursday at Hy-Vee. Time to stock up the bar and fill up your tank. Earn 50 cents per gallon fuel savings on every $50 purchase of wine, beer, hard seltzer, and spirits. Mix and match all your favorite libations and get a 50-cent fuel saver with every $50 purchase. Stack up the savings, and your next fill-up could be free. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday at your Kansas City, Missouri Hy-Vee. Product promotion differs by location. Offers valid where legal, available while supplies last.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter. Ah, the most beautiful time of year is upon us. Tax season. And TaxSlayer is here to help you file. We guarantee 100% accuracy and your maximum refund. Those are some good numbers. And you can trust me, because I'm a talking calculator. Did I mention TaxSlayer even has support from real US-based humans? If you have any questions along the way, beat the rush and start for free today. TaxSlayer. File fearlessly.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to A to Z Savings, our biggest sale of the year.
Happy to be here. Can I get some rotors?
Would you like brake pads with that?
How much are the brake pads?
Free with Duralast rotors.
Free. Really?
Really? Free.
I also need some oil.
Would you like an oil filter with that?
Yeah. How much is that?
Free with the oil.
Free. Really?
Really. Free. It's part of A to Z Savings with hundreds of deals.
From A to free.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Ends March 9th. Restrictions apply.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and from changing seasons to unpredictable road conditions, having solid auto insurance gives you real peace of mind. With AAA, switching today means you could save up to 21% on your auto insurance. AAA offers dependable protection, personalized coverage options, and customer service that's always there for you. And when you bundle policies or insure multiple vehicles, you can save even more. Visit AAA.com. That's AAA.com.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Heading towards downtown, 29 southbound, off again, on again, heavy from Armour into the downtown loop. 169 highway southbound gets heavy before the bridge, and then on to 35, just off again, on again, slowdowns down past Penway. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
It is 7:45 on a Thursday. Smash or Pass brought to you by Booth Creek Wagyu. Casey's Best Steaks now with 2 locations at 95th and Knoll and 135th and Metcalf. Also, Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more, online at ShawneeMissionFord.com. So, you know the deal. You guys act like you hate it, but you love it. You hear this guy sound like this. You want to be caller number 5 and talk to Mac Morey, and you got a chance at a $50 Booth Creek Wagyu gift card. Real simple. All you got to do is call 913-586-7965 when you hear that cow sounder made by Bob Fescoe, and be caller number 5 and say, hey, Mac, I love Mac's Minute on Instagram. And then you got to say, I promise I'm going to tell 2 of my friends to go check out Mac's Minute on Instagram. Got to do those 2 things.
Mac's awesome.
So we start Smash or Pass here. Smash or Pass, and that one of the 2 teams you watched in the Super Bowl will be back next year.
I'm going to say pass. I don't think either of those teams will be back in the Super Bowl. I think the Rams are going to be a very formidable opponent in the NFC. And in the AFC, I don't know where I'm leaning right now. I think the AFC is wide open. Obviously, we'll see in a month when the free agency period ends, a day after it started. But we'll know a lot more in a month of where these AFC teams are. But I'm going to pass. I don't think either of those teams go back to the Super Bowl next year.
it's easy to pass because it's so hard to make back-to-back.
Yeah.
I'll smash for right now just because Seattle's that good in the NFC. Like you mentioned the Rams, and then I'm thinking about who else. I don't see a lot of other teams there, so at the top of the list. So yeah,
You're right. Yeah,
I'll smash that.
You're right. There's not a lot of top-tier teams right now in the NFL.
Lots going to happen.
But also, Mac, though, I mean, take the 2 Super Bowl teams out of it, because I think if you look at it, I think everybody would probably say, I don't think they were the 2 best teams in the NFL, for the year. Maybe they were, but this was just a weird year in the NFL. There was no great, there was no wow. It was just it was an average year, I thought, in the NFL.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard. It's easy to do hindsight. Now I know that Seattle's the best team. But yeah, they weren't special. They weren't explosive, but they had everything. They were good at everything.
They were good at everything, yeah. But there was no wow factor to them at all. I mean, there just isn't. And if you were to ask me the 5 best teams now in the NFL, I don't know how I feel about those 2 teams that played in the Super Bowl. I mean, I'm sure there's going to be 5 teams that are better than those teams that played in the Super Bowl last year.
How about a little pick in the soupy? Come on, dude.
Pick in the soupy, baby.
Mm-hmm.
Sammy D.
Gotta love it. Matt's going to buy that shirt.
I do want that shirt that Ernest Jones wore. That was awesome.
Smash or pass?
What did it say?
It's Sam Darnold flipping everyone off. It's awesome.
Nice.
Smash or pass over 29.5 minutes for DNP on Saturday at Ames.
How long is a college basketball game?
40.
Under. That's way too much time for that guy.
Yeah, he's played over that a couple of times.
Hey, he led the team in minutes.
That one
previous game they played before.
Hey, there's
he
a
got the
first
flu.
for everything.
Exactly. Yeah. I'll go under.
I got 0 until I see. I mean, hey, until he warms up. Oh, wait, he did warm up the other night.
Yeah.
But he had the flu.
Yeah,
He was sick, man.
Yeah, nobody's buying that.
It is the season of love, or the week of love. Saturday is Valentine's Day. Saturday is going to be wet because it's going to rain.
Yeah.
And I ask you guys, smash or pass on the chocolate-covered strawberries?
Pass.
You don't like them?
I don't think they're that great. No, I'm fine.
Oh, smash. Absolutely. Yeah, I'm not even a big chocolate guy. I just love, chocolate-covered bananas as well. Smash.
Yeah, I'm not a chocolate-covered fruit guy.
Gotta ask a question.
I already know.
Is the banana chopped up
Men's
in pieces, or is it dipped in the chocolate and then you're eating it?
I think they usually just dip the whole thing in and they sell it on a stick at the ball game, don't they?
At the ball game, yes.
Like,
That
have
is
you seen
questionable
those
behavior.
things floating around at the ballpark? Who's buying the melted chocolate fruit that the guy's carrying around?
Trader Joe's has bags of them chopped
Kids.
up.
Oh, okay.
Frozen?
Yep. Frozen. Yep. Keep them in the freezer, pull them out. They're great.
Okay. Smash or pass on the heart-shaped za, the old pizza heart shape. You ever seen those?
Oh,
Ever gotten one? Or are they just
we've
as good or
gotten one.
different?
Yeah, I'll smash that. Yeah, they taste the
you
same.
got one?
Yeah.
I've never even really seen one of these in person.
Do you cut it as like a broken heart?
I don't remember.
Okay.
It was years ago with the girls. I mean, like, we're like, oh, let's get a heart-shaped
Happy
pizza.
Valentine's Day.
Because that's what you do. I mean, Binkley's the only one who could figure it out because, he's got the pizza cutter.
That guy's an idiot, man.
Elsewhere.
Pass.
Okay. A nice romantic dinner on Valentine's Day, smash or pass, at home.
At home, smash that. Yeah.
Smash. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's great. Nothing wrong with doing it at home.
No.
Yeah.
Smash.
Bad child. What about dinner at a favorite date spot for Valentine's
Sure.
Day?
Yeah, smash that too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. Both are great.
Because I feel like that's the...
We're doing neither, but
Damn.
We're
going to the UMKC game. Yeah.
Oh,
We're
there we
going to
go.
watch the Roos on
Roos.
Saturday night.
There we
Roo
go,
up,
Roos.
baby. Let's go. I don't know who they're playing, but
Good thing it's not on a Tuesday. Are you guys doing anything Valentine? Do you do?
Yeah, we're going over to the Crossroads.
Oh.
We're going to walk around, go to a nice Italian place over there. We'll walk around, get a drink after. Hopefully, that you mentioned the rain. I am a little nervous about that.
you ain't doing any walk. I think Saturday's supposed to be a washout.
Rain is supposedly south of I-70, and brother, you are
right south,
right
of
on
I-70.
south of I-70. Because I'm in Lee Summit, so I plan on being wet Saturday.
Yeah, it's going to be a
On
nasty
Valentine's Day.
weekend. Yeah, it's going to be a nasty, rainy weekend.
Pounded this week.
90% chance of rain.
Oh,
Damn
yeah.
it. I've been pounded this
Well,
week.
then just get a reservation to the Mercury Room.
It's true.
And you're
you ain't
inside.
get a reservation anywhere now.
It's
though.
too late
It's
now.
too late for that.
Yeah.
It doesn't hurt if you don't try.
It's true.
At least you can try. All right, smash or pass Daytona 500.
No
this
chance.
weekend.
Pass. Didn't know it was this
I had
weekend.
no
And-
idea
yep.
it was this weekend.
Drew came in here talking about it yesterday. That's when I found out. Pass. I'm
What do
good.
you say?
Hard
It's
pass.
24 or 25 years since Dale Earnhardt's passing?
what he
Has it
said.
been, it's been that long, yeah. It was early 2000s, yeah.
I remember that day.
Pass.
Smash or pass. This is credit to the text line for letting me know this.
Okay.
Hockey Saturday, United States versus the home team of Italy, Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, I would smash that one. They play today as well. The U.S. has their first game, I think, at like 1 or 2 o'clock this afternoon against somebody. But so now the men's hockey starting. Canada plays today as well, and so you're going to start getting all of those kind of good matchups, USA and Canada. Yeah, I'm smashing the hockey, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, any Winter Olympics, I'm pretty much going to be in on. Yeah, smash that. It's the sport. I mean, I don't know if other people have experienced this. My wife doesn't, or my fiance, I should say, soon to be.
Not yet.
Wife, not yet. Spoke too soon. Not the biggest sports watcher, not the biggest sports fan. We found golf, something she likes. But Winter Olympics, I'm telling you, it does not matter what sport. She's locked in. She loves the stories. She's rooting for the U.S.
It's great. I've been locked in since they've started, and the backstories have been really fun. The events are great, man. And I think the setting helps me a lot, too, because it just looks beautiful, man. It looks awesome. And it's snowing right now, and they're doing, like, snowboard races down the hill, and it's really cool, like the slalom with skis, but they're on snowboards. And I just love watching people do things that I have no ability to do, and I know that I would never do.
Wouldn't be doing my job. I didn't look up what national day it was. Smash or pass plum pudding. Have you ever had it? Do you know what it is?
No, I don't know.
It is a rich steamed or boiled dessert, a staple of a British holiday. Traditions often seen containing no actual plums, but it is a mixture that is a dense feature with dark mix of dried fruits, spices, breadcrumbs, and brandy, and is typically aged for weeks, ignited with a brandy before serving, and paired with a hard sauce or custard, so ice cream or custard.
It sounds like a fruit cake. Like, I'm out, pass on that. Yeah, I'm not interested.
I think I smash.
The warm with the ice cream at the end did kind of
with
reel
the brandy
me in.
on top and light it on fire.
It's a lot. That sounds like a lot, but yeah, I'd give it a shot.
What about Bananas Foster's?
Yeah, smash that.
Yeah,
That's
big
good.
Time, right? Big Bananas Foster's guy.
But don't ask Jen for one, Bob. You're not allowed banana splits, isn't that right?
Yeah. I don't like them.
What?
How do you know?
How do you know what I like? That's the best.
Yeah.
It's constant.
My mother, eat that. You like? I don't like that.
I don't like that.
Cauliflower, no.
That's so true in relationships. I say that all the time. You never say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
That is smash or pass, so you remember the deal. What an old drop that was. Can you feel it in your plums? I could feel it in my plums, for sure. I think I am smashing plum pudding or whatever it's called, plum cake. I never eat fruit cake. That stuff always looks
Nobody
weird.
does. That stuff's been. They made like 5 fruit cakes in the 1800s, and we've just passed them around.
Jimmy Buffett eats it.
Yeah, well, there's a whole album about
So does Peter Gabriel. You can have the fruit cakes. I found out when I was 13 what Sledgehammer was about. Thought it was about the Tool. Well, it is, but it's not. It is. Men's wieners. Why do we have to have people that have to ruin just like a specific holiday?
Oh, we got someone doing that?
Valentine's Day is way overrated.
Okay, Jay.
I love my wife 365 days out of the year. I don't need a specific day.
No.
Nice.
That did not come in. That's not a real text.
Valentine's Day is way overrated. I don't need a specific day out of the year to show my love for my wife. I love her 365.
Oh, she's sitting right next to you, or what's the deal there?
Why is it not okay to like every once in a while like fit into the theme? Like you don't have to do it every year, but like how cool would it be to like, text your wife or your girlfriend of significant time or even your fiance, be like, hey, what do you think about going to, the Rock Hill Grill and getting that corner table where we had dinner that one time and it was great? You know what? That sounds like a great idea. It just so happens to be Valentine's Day.
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? Mm-hmm. I've got a reservation, so the business doesn't matter.
I mean,
you don't have to do it every year.
My wife 365. That is a Binkley text right there. I mean, that came straight from the fingers of Jay Binkley.
An idiot, man.
Well, we're going to give you audio straight from the mouth of Jerome Tang on the other side because you're listening to 96.5, which is the home for K-State athletics.
This is Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for K-State athletics. 96.5, The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at QC Kinetics are saying it is time for you to feel better. And I know nobody wants to go through surgery or rehab or meds or any of that kind of stuff. The great news is with QC Kinetics, you don't have to. And 40,000 people have already had successful times at QC Kinetics. So before you replace your hip or your knee, before you put your life on hold for a couple of months, find the best way possible at QC Kinetics to not have to deal with any of that. They're the nation's leader in cellular level treatments that revitalize joint tissue naturally. Patients who thought surgery was the only answer are getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics advanced regenerative treatments. And as we know, QC Kinetics uses safe, natural treatments to activate your body's healing power with zero downtime. So get started now to ease inflammation and slow the progression of arthritis. 40,000 people can't be wrong. Before you say yes to surgery, do your research. Call QC Kinetics today. The consultation is free. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Hey, Mom. It's me. Oh my gosh, you'll never believe what I just opened for Valentine's Day. A sapphire ring from Hellsberg. Just like the one I lost years ago. Remember how excited I was when you gave it to me? I cannot believe you remembered that story. I guess you were right. I really found the one.
This Valentine's Day, create a moment that means something with up to 40% off gifts at Hellsberg. Shop in store or at hellsberg.com.
That's another amazing run by Team USA.
Mom, think I'll be on Team USA one day?
Well, I'll take this one.
What? Are you speaking to us?
Yes, and to answer your question, anything's possible, especially with Xfinity.
So, I can be the best snowboarder ever?
Well, I can't guarantee that, but Xfinity can guarantee that your internet price won't change for 5 years.
Okay. What if I practice every day?
Then maybe you'll be snowboarding for Team USA at the next Olympic Winter Games. And Mom, you'll still be paying the same price for Wi-Fi.
Ooh, really stuck the landing there. It's the Xfinity Gold Medal Celebration. Now through February 22nd, get our best price on gig Wi-Fi for 5 years guaranteed, just $50 a month. Plus, get Peacock Premium included for 2 years. That's a $10.99 value per month. Xfinity. Imagine that. Proud partner of Team USA. Restrictions apply. Requires paperless billing and auto pay with stored bank account. Taxes and fees extra. Actual speeds vary.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Entry Law. 169 highway southbound gets heavy at the airport exit. Stays off again, on again, slow down across the bridge with an accident reporting before the bridge. Get across, and it is quite heavy onto 35 southbound, down past I-70, then off again, on again, slow downs down towards Penway. Give me one good reason why I should call DM Law. How about 3 great reasons? 1, it's easy. 2, it's fast. 3, the results. Mike's got this. 816-888-7500. Mike's got this. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Listen to the Royals Spring Training Opener on Friday, February 20th, starting at 2 o'clock right here on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
A lot of texts coming in on what they plan on doing on Valentine's Day, but unfortunately, I can't read any of them.
Nice.
Yeah, the top text. Yeah. Hell yeah, 563. Hell yeah.
Is the 563 the same 563 that was complaining earlier about, what was it, Jerome Tang or the Chiefs or something like that? There was a 563 that was complaining about something earlier.
This is not same. This guy actually had a really good text yesterday. I wish I would have read. It says Scott Boras, more like Scott Boras.
That's good. I like it.
Wish I would have seen that yesterday.
Well played.
I kind of want to go back to Jack Stack and work on Saturday. You think they'd take me back for Valentine's Day?
Oh, they would. Yeah, absolutely. Right? Do they need help there for it? Go do it. Yeah.
I should see if I could just go work Saturday night.
They would probably say
would
yes.
Would you bring your wife out to eat if I served your table?
No.
Okay.
No, because I'm not going to put you in that position.
Why?
Because I'm not going to sit there. Dusty, I'm going to need another refill on my tea.
I'm like pissed.
That is Jerome Tang. This is what he said last night after K-State's loss.
This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year. I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. You know, it is just ridiculous. We got practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer, no words. So y'all got two questions. So whoever want to ask two questions, I'll answer them to the best of my ability right now. But right now, I'm pissed.
Like
pissed.
And as if that wasn't good enough,
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
Down bad is Jerome Tang.
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
I guess lean into
God
it.
bless. Thank you. That's going to make it all better. Thank the Lord.
I'm pissed.
So, luckily for Jerome Tang, we created a new topic, which is, are you pissed or like pissed?
Right.
Which will soon be on a weekday soon coming towards you because
It would
our
have been
boss...
great to have that during the football season.
Oh, it's going to be great during the March Madness season as well because our boss will be walking through those doors at any minute, and we have an offer for him because he's always saying, keep thinking, keep going, keep doing it. How about this, Steve? Never have I ever called him that, by the way. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Steve, I was like, man.
I better check myself before.
Steve. He will not respond to that.
That is a fact.
And if you spell his name with a PH, he ain't responding to you. So, Steve.
Could you imagine that? Hey, Steve, got a great idea. Get out.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, you did call him Binkley last week, so Steve is an upgrade.
I forgot you did that.
Yeah, he told me he was not happy about that. I said, dude, I couldn't tell. I had to glare at him. He goes, uh-huh.
He's like, yeah, well, a bald dome.
Sorry, Steve. Probably shouldn't do that. But either way, these are indicators of someone who is done. And I'm not,
hell yeah.
I never advocate for someone to get fired unless they do something like that Gannon guy did in Arizona where he actually
punched a player.
Right. I mean, that to me, I'm like, all right, dude, you probably ought to lose your job.
Kind of crossed the line.
You've lost your cool so much that you have incorporated violence upon the guys that are supposed to respect you and see you as a loser, as a leader, that now they see you as a loser. Jerome Tang, it's no secret, it has not been the most successful year for the Kansas State Wildcats. And this year, with those type of press conference audio clips that we get, because we've heard them before, you guys do this for clips. And then there's, kind of mad at the media, kind of slightly crashing out there. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden you get last night's audio where he's giving the media two questions. And apparently one of them was, what do you think about the fans wearing paper bags over their heads?
That's right.
And he says, well, I would wear it too. At
least somebody did ask that, not ask about what happened in the third minute of some useless game,
Well, it looked like you went to a too high and then decided,
we lost by 30. Who cares?
Hey, Mizzou won last night, too. So, hey, there is that on the road as well. But either way, you look at, the writing on the wall. And we've seen this from Coach before. I kind of alluded to it earlier with, the clips that we've heard where the Bears, who we thought they were. R.I.P. to the great Denny Green. Mm-hmm. And then you have, I forget what his name was, but the old coach for the 49ers who was like, can't coach him, can't teach him, can't do all this stuff. And he was, mad at Vernon Davis, former Mike Singletary.
Oh, Singletary,
and he was pissed at his players.
Yep.
And then Vernon Davis... he was fine once Mike Singletary wasn't along on the ride for the San Francisco 49ers. He was. Vernon Davis ended up having a pretty good run after that whole meltdown with him and Singletary, and he went out and did that. We saw old boy for the Chargers, Brandon Staley, do that when he yelled at the media about, I'm the one that does the defense. I do all this stuff. And it's indicators like that show you that time is out and they just don't really care. Also, Jerome Tang does have a very sweet buyout.
Yeah, he does. And it's $18 million. And K-State better spend every one of those dollars in buying out Jerome Tang because he is no longer the guy that you want leading your program or can have leading your program. He called out every student athlete and said they don't deserve to wear the uniform. And I think what we also have to understand right now is Jerome Tang is trying to play college basketball where he's building a program in an era that doesn't lend itself to that. This is the NIL era. Guys are not going to buy into your program. They're going to where they're going to get the biggest check. They really don't care about your program. They don't care about your defense. They don't care about running your offense. They don't care about any of that. They care about where they're going to get the biggest check. And if K-State presents that opportunity, then somebody will go to K-State. And I think that's where we are in college sports right now. If there are coaches out there that are still looking to build a program in college sports, then you are no longer equipped to coach in college sports because the game has changed. And I'll make a COVID reference here, Dusty, and I think you'll understand and appreciate this. During COVID, the restaurants that were successful were the ones that pivoted right away and immediately went to takeout. What everybody was doing for 1,000 years prior, all of a sudden it changed, and restaurants had to adjust. And I know from talking to my friends over at Smokehouse Barbecue, my friend Josh, who runs the place, and some of the folks up there and how they handled the COVID situation, they pivoted immediately to doing takeout. And I remember Joe, the manager of the Zona Rosa location, telling me, if you've ever seen that location, he goes, during COVID, we would have lines all the way down to Dick's Sporting Goods. Mm-hmm. And then when holidays would come during COVID, down to Dick's Sporting Goods and around the block, and we pivoted and we knew what we were going to do and we adjusted on the fly and we changed who we were from a business, and we were able to keep 3 locations open and stay successful. You told me the same stuff about when you were working in the restaurant industry during COVID, and you guys were successful because you pivoted right away. You had good leaders who understood what needed to happen, understood that, hey, the way it was ain't the way it is, and we got to figure this thing out, and we figured it out on the fly. And that's where college sports is right now. They're at the beginning stages of COVID, essentially. They're trying to figure it out. And if you're a college coach and you're trying to hold on to the past and trying to form a team and all that kind of stuff like you did 5-10 years ago, you're doing it wrong. You're a dinosaur and you're antiquated. These kids don't have any interest in it. They don't want it. They just want the check. And you have to understand now that college sports is no longer about program building. It is a very transactional business, and you need to treat it as such.
Yeah, D1 college.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, where the money is, and it's going to continue to be. But yeah, this is one of those things where, like, and I get it. I see your texts all the time, and I read them. But it's like, somebody says on the text line, like, players need some accountability as well. If they're going to get paid this type of money, they need to be called out for being lazy and not giving full effort. I don't know how many of these players at Kansas State currently are getting, NIL deals. I'm sure some of them are. And then somebody also says that, it's a tough place to be a coach in Manhattan, that it is a toxic place.
It could be.
I don't know if that's the case. I don't get involved with the fan base, but I do know that it is a very proud university. I know a lot of people that are grads from K-State that always, feel like the redheaded stepchild per se. And, it's always Kansas, and then it's Missouri, and then it's the Royals, and then it's the Chiefs, and then there's old Manhattan over here in K-State. So I get that. But, like, leaders lead, man.
Yeah.
And in a moment of despair and, being down, and especially being down this bad, like, sometimes if you want accountability too on the players, you need accountability on the coaching. Like, maybe Jerome Tang needs to go out there and be like, I didn't prepare my players well enough tonight, and maybe that's on me. And if it is, I need to check myself. And maybe we didn't get a lot of effort out there tonight, and maybe part of that is for me to be blamed on that as well. Yeah. So yes, you can put accountability on the players for not showing up or doing what they were supposed to be doing, but also, like, part of that is from the coaching. And we talked about it with the Chiefs, like, lack of discipline. Where does that start? It starts with Andy Reid.
That's right. Somebody on the text line, you mentioned, it's okay now to call out the players. And I think it's okay for the fans to call out the players, but let's look at it from a professional level. When was the last time a professional coach called out his team and said they didn't deserve to wear the uniform and had those kinds of harsh criticisms? You don't see that in the professional ranks. And now college is the professional ranks. And it's not really a good look to go out there, and call out your players. And you mentioned, leaders lead, and leaders are discovered, leaders are formed. You really see who a leader is in a bad time, right? It's easy to be a leader. It's easy to be a coach when you're 15-1 and you're winning Super Bowls. But when you're 6-11, how are you going to lead? And I know nobody wants to hear Andy Reid always saying this one's on me, but that's what a leader does. The leader takes the bullet for everybody. The leader goes out there and says, I'm the one at fault. And that's what Jerome Tang should have done last night. He should have come out there and goes, guys, this is on me. These players are trying their asses off. I am not. Even if you don't believe it, you have to say it, because that's what a leader does. A leader doesn't get out there and destroy and rip and run down all the people that he needs to follow him. Do you think he's going to get max effort out of any of those players now for the rest of the season? If I was those players on the team and my coach just said, I don't deserve to wear the uniform, I'd walk in there and hand them that uniform and walk out and see how you're going to field the team for your next game and how you're going to have to refund tickets and TV revenue and all this stuff when K-State players go, screw you. And that's what I would do if I was on that K-State team. This coach legitimately got up there at a press conference and said, we don't deserve to wear the uniform? Fine, man. I'm out. Life's too short to deal with that.
Take notes from Mike Vrabel. Team loses the biggest game of their lives. And what does he do?
Stands at the
locker room and gives them the same handshake and pep talk that he gave him when they win a game.
Yep.
So leaders lead, losers lose. Coming up next, there's a new member of the Chiefs coaching staff who used to be a running back in the NFL. We discuss next on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Fescoe and Dusty.
Every Hardee's is closed.
Well, that brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. 96.5 The Fan.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Hear that? That's Mike. He took ZzzQuil Pure Z's, so now he's sleeping soundly on a Sunday night. ZzzQuil Pure Z's are fast-acting melatonin gummies with a complementary botanical blend to help Mike get the sleep he needs to wake up refreshed and ready to conquer Monday.
Let's do this Monday.
ZzzQuil Pure Z's, just for sleep. Really great sleep. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Use as directed.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I opened a restaurant and needed everything. Menus, signage, catering brochures.
Everything and then some.
I went to Staples. They printed it all and even suggested takeout menus.
One money pit with a side of fries.
But now at Staples, you get up to $125 off custom print orders.
$125 off. Now you're cooking. Brand your business in a big way at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in-store, online, or in the app by 4/4 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Jeff's day is off to a slow start. So he heads to AutoZone, America's #1 battery destination, where Sammy, a local AutoZoner, tests his battery for free. Looks like he just needs a charge. And Sammy does that for free too. In no time at all, Jeff is back on the road, ready to finish the day strong. Free battery testing and charging at every store. No hassles, just help.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Did you hear? Allstate car insurance now costs even less. So when you bundle with home, you can save even more. Check Allstate first to bundle and save with a new lower auto rate. You're in good hands with Allstate. Not available in every state. Only applicable for new auto insurance business. Rates will vary by several factors, including how you purchase the policy. Potential savings may vary. Allstate North American Insurance Company and Affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500.
Mike's got this. Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Heading towards downtown, 169 highway southbound slows before the bridge, and getting on to 35. Still off again on again, heavy down past 670, but it's lightening up. 35 southbound on the Kansas side, though, still pretty heavy around 18th Street Expressway with an earlier stall down past Lamar. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
Yeah, I'd wear a paper bag too if I was them. Thanks a lot, fellas. God bless.
It's unbelievable. How have we not gotten a release yet from K-State that relationship is no longer happening?
I'm like pissed.
Seriously,
like pissed.
Is that going to come at 10 o'clock?
Yeah, after they're done running laps.
You know, they started at 6. I would hope they're still not running laps. It's 2 hours and 17 minutes now we're going on. I'm sure there's a K-State fan. Just keep running.
They're running.
This is how they learn. They got to run gassers. Oh,
Tyler
okay.
in Binghamton. We appreciate that. You're on with Coach Autry.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Tyler.
Red, I was just wondering, who do you think are going to be the best candidates for your job once?
There you go, Tyler. Appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate that.
That came from the Manhattan Minute yesterday with Jerome Tang. But I mean, like, how as a university do you really keep this guy employed the rest of the way? I mean, you now have a crisis on your hands, guys, and I'm not trying to be hyperbolic about it, but you had a coach go out there and legitimately just say, in his words, and this is not making or inferring, he says these guys don't deserve to wear the uniform. That is a major crisis that's going on in Manhattan, Kansas, because you got to finish off the rest of the games this year. And if these players form a mutiny, which they should, then you got a real problem on your hands. Like, the players should do one of two things today. Either they should all go turn their jerseys in, or they should all go meet with the athletic director and say, unless he's gone, we're not playing, because he told us we don't deserve to wear these uniforms. And not just told us that, he announced that in a press conference yesterday, that we don't deserve to wear these uniforms. So if I'm the K-State players, I'm doing one of two things. I'm going to the athletic director, or I'm giving Jerome Tang my uniform. It's one or the other, because this relationship can't continue.
And I'm not comparing the two coaches, but there are ways to call out players in subtle ways, because we heard it with Bill Self when he talked about Darren Peterson. And I think this, and at least it's my opinion, and it is my own, you don't have to agree or disagree, but when Bill Self said, yeah, we thought the atmosphere might, get him to go, but I guess that wasn't enough.
You're right.
And that to me is basically saying, like, number one team in the country coming down Fieldhouse, it's bumping. We figured that might be the initiative that would be like, all right, I can stick this out. And it didn't. And so next man up. And that's not necessarily being like, yeah, I think it's weak for Darren Peterson not to play. I mean, the guy had a flu and it's the biggest game of our season, but whatever. It was, I thought that the atmosphere would really push that, would get that adrenaline pumping, and it didn't. Yeah. So whether you agree or disagree, it is totally up to you. This is breaking news from ESPN's Get Up. This is Jeremy Fowler. Says many high-level executives expect the Eagles to entertain trade offers for A.J. Brown.
No way.
Oh, dude.
No way.
Can you believe
Oh,
that?
my God. We needed a report for that?
High.
Give him
level
McDuffie.
Executives. Yeah.
I'd do that trade.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
Howie.
Don't know if they would. They don't need it.
Yeah, but you know what?
Their secondary's awesome. Their
So
defense
they
is
can
great.
get better. You can always get better, Mac.
Of course,
Then that's
but-
what you got to sell the Eagles. If you're Brett,
Yeah.
you can always get better, Howie.
Yeah, and he's like, yeah, I know. I got to get better because my quarterback sucks.
Hey, Howie, I hate to break this to you, but the guy in Seattle's better than both of us. So if we want to be talked about again, like that guy in Seattle, let's make this trade. Come on, Howie. You know you want to be the best in the NFL. Give us A.J. Brown.
Or you could take Matilda's dad's approach. Maybe you don't believe it, but you could do the I'm smart, or you're smart, I'm dumb. You're big, I'm little. There's nothing I can do about it. Here's Trent McDuffie, and we'll take A.J. Brown in a third.
Yeah.
Sound good? All
Sound
right.
good.
A.J.
All
Brown
right.
and a
third.
third.
Yeah.
Yep.
No, I do. I like
And a
that
fifth.
trade.
And a fifth.
I mean, he has to be moved out of there, obviously. That's a relationship that we all know. It's
according
very
to many
much
high-level
Tang-like.
executives, he is going to be moved.
It's a Tang-like relationship in Philadelphia. Everybody knows you're going to have to move on from that. And so now that everybody knows, though, that you're going to have to move on from that, nobody's going to make a huge offer to you at the beginning, right? People are going to go out there and go, I'll give you a sixth round. We know you need to move on from that guy. It's like, you have no negotiating power when the world world knows this is no longer a fit for the Philadelphia Eagles. And so we'll have to see what kind of trade offers they ultimately get for A.J. Brown, but I would absolutely be in on that. I think this would be a good fit for him with a veteran guy like Andy Reid, a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes, obviously be a great fit for him here. And I think, as we've seen in Kansas City, guys aren't problems here, right? They don't read books on the sidelines. They don't complain about the amount of passes that they're not catching. And so I think A.J. Brown coming in here would have a new outlook on life, feel more appreciated, quite honestly. And what a great pairing that would be for Travis Kelce. So I would absolutely 100% be in on the A.J. Brown discussions. And I don't really care what it would cost to go out there and get A.J. Brown, because I would be open to having those discussions and then working out a deal. So you can't close it off and say, it's going to cost me. You don't know what it's going to cost unless you ask. You got to shoot your shot on this one.
News yesterday for the Kansas City Chiefs is that DeMarco Murray, former running back in the NFL who played for Dallas, Philadelphia, and Tennessee, coaching at Oklahoma currently, is going to now be a running backs coach for the Kansas City Chiefs coaching roster. Yay or nay on DeMarco Murray?
I'm a yay on this. I mean, I don't know anything about his coaching style. We'll hear from a guy who covered him, right, Mac? What time?
Yeah, he's coming on at 9:15. Jesse Crittenden, he works for the OU Insider.
Yeah,
so he's been covering that beat.
Yeah, he's been covering that beat. We'll get more of a football kind of approach from him coming up a little bit later on. But I think I like it because it's different. And different isn't always bad. Different can be good. I like the fact that he played in the league. He obviously had a lot of success in college too. I think this is a neat hire for the Chiefs. I don't know what his coaching style or any of that is, but on the surface, and that's all I can go on right now, it's Andy Reid thinking differently, going outside the box, going somewhere different, not going to the same guys all the time. And look, so far, Andy Reid is batting 1,000 this offseason, guys. Everything that we've wanted him to do so far, he's absolutely 100% done, right? You got new coaches in there for your running backs. You got new coaches in there for your wide receivers. You're bringing back somebody who's a disciplinarian that was lacking for the last, 5 years or whatever it is. So everything that they can do at this point in time to make the team better, I think they've exceeded that at this point in time. I don't know how it's going to relate on the field, but for the first month of the offseason, I have to give the Chiefs an A+. Everything that they've looked at and changed had needed to be changed. And that's what they've done when they haven't won the Super Bowl. They've changed those areas that need to be changed. And so far, I'm excited about the coaching staff now.
Yeah, who would we be if we're saying, hey, you got to do all this stuff, he does all this stuff, and I don't really like it that much, not the guy I would have done. I mean, we talked about the nepotism hire that was Connor Embry and Pinkston and all these guys in the wide receiver and running back room. You got a guy who's a former Pro Bowler and has done really well in the NFL for a long time, and he had some success at OU in his early years, it looked like, from a development standpoint. It seems like now some OU fans are upset with what's happened in the last couple of years and transpired. That could be,
and they're blaming the running back
and they're
coach.
Blaming the running back
that's
coach.
College in a nutshell right there, right?
Exactly. You're mad at one guy when there's a lot of other issues that are way broader than DeMarco Murray. So I've got to be really optimistic about this hire right now, man. This is
I am
good.
too.
Yeah, this is exciting. Who would you listen to? I mean, Pinkston or DeMarco Murray?
Yeah, right. Exactly. A former wide receiver coach and running backs, or a former running back. Now, I'm not a you had to play the game guy at all. When it comes to coaching, because Andy Reid never played the game in the NFL. He's pretty damn good. Bill Belichick never played in the NFL. Don Shula, all the top coaches, they never played in the NFL, right? I don't think you have to play in the NFL, but I also don't think that, if you are a wide receiver in your career, you should be hired to coach the running backs. I mean, that's just kind of the way that I look at it. And so now you've got a guy that did play the position, and I think for a lot of the players, they can look at him and go, hey, he knows what he's talking about. He played the position, and he played it in their lifetime now, too. I'm sure a lot of these kids grew up watching DeMarco Murray play. And they're like, that's cool. That guy's my coach now. I used to watch him play. You were on my fantasy team a few years ago.
Well, and if you want to feel really old, he was on the coaching staff when Creed Humphrey was at Oklahoma.
There we go.
So there is a tie there with a Chiefs player, at least. I think there's
DeMarco Murray's that old.
I mean, he's been at OU for, 5 years?
6 years.
6 years, and Creed's been in the league 5.
Wow. Yeah, Creed Humphrey and Wanye Morris, and there's one more. But yeah, those two.
If you would have said to me, DeMarco Murray, I would say, he's kicking around somewhere still in the league, probably, right?
His last year in the league was 2017. He had a 7-year career. He had his best year in 2014, where he rushed for Dallas 392 times for 1,845 yards and 13 touchdowns.
The Titans were like, all right, come over here.
No, Philadelphia was.
Oh, really? Did he ever go to the Titans? Who am I thinking of?
He went to Titans, but he went to Philadelphia the next year at age 27. Went to Tennessee at the age of 28, was a Pro Bowler. And then was 29 years old, and then never played again after the age of 29.
Interesting.
It's you hit that wall at 30 years old and you're done.
Yeah, but he wasn't. He was still had gas.
Yeah, Rodney Hampton was the same way. All of a sudden, he come off a 1,000-yard season, was gone. Where did you? They're just done. That's what happens.
It's interesting. DeMarco Murray's last year in Tennessee, he played 15 games and started in 15 games, had 184 attempts and 659 yards rushing. I believe that would have been what Derrick Henry's rookie year.
Yeah, sounds about right.
God, that backfield.
Yeah, him and Henry,
and he had 659 on just 184 carries.
Yeah, that's not bad.
No, it's a nice hire.
Yeah.
It is. It's as Dusty said earlier. Andy has done everything we've asked, and so I don't think, from our standpoint, where I sit anyway, we asked for A. He gave us A. We cannot be critical of that. We asked for A, and he didn't give us Z. He's giving us exactly what we've wanted as Chiefs fans so far this offseason. A+.
And also, we got a running backs coach. There was part of us that was like, well, Eric Bieniemy, I guess he'll do both. That's a cheap hire because he'll do the OC and he'll be the no. They got a guy in here who is a pro and can speak to these guys. And I think that's a good point, Bob. So much of it is first impressions. You don't have to pass a first impression because I know who DeMarco Murray is. This is a former Pro Bowl running back. I'm going to listen to him.
Yeah.
And you might know who Todd Pinkston is, but that's even more of the problem because he's a wide receiver.
Never heard of him. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you used to? Never
Weren't you that receiver during the
Is he still on the staff?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
No.
No, I don't hate it because, like you had mentioned earlier, it is something that is irregular. And I think that's what everybody's kind of in for. Now, I know that Mac had said before the show that there were some red flags out of Oklahoma. We'll get into the bottom of this about 9:15.
Yes.
But there was a lot of people happy that he was gone. Now, I will also say that there were people in Cleveland that were happy to see Chad O'Shea go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But again, that's just the way life works. When someone leaves, think about Bob Sutton. There wasn't a word about Bob Sutton. The minute he was out of this organization, it was doesn't adjust at halftime. The look on his face on the sideline is the same look at the same face he has in the locker room. The guy's lost. He expects players to change. He doesn't really think that, since they're professionals, they should know what they need to do. And none of that was said or anything was kind of brought up. Then he's gone. It's oh yeah, you guys enjoy Bob Sutton wherever he ends up. So I think that there's also the same sort of narrative here with DeMarco Murray. And again, I go back to what I said earlier about Oklahoma being the university that it is. That is Oklahoma, is Boomer Sooner football. The 3 biggest days in Oklahoma's year is Christmas, it is opening day of the season, and it is the Red River Shootout.
And the fourth one is signing day. That may be bigger than Christmas for a lot of OU fans, right?
So, football is life for Boomer Sooner fans. So they pour their heart and soul into this team. And if they don't like the product that they see, they'll find anyone and anything they can to blame on message boards or Reddit conversations or Twitter or whatever it may be. We might see DeMarco Murray come here and be able to teach Rashard Smith something. He might be able to teach Breece Hall something if he's the guy that comes in. And if he can't, by God, he's got Eric Bieniemy right behind him to be well, if you don't want me to talk to you, you can let grumpy old man over here talk to you, and he'll really get into your mind and tell you what to do. So I do like the fact that there's 3 boxes checked off here with the DeMarco Murray hiring in Kansas City. 1, it's person of experience. 2, it's somebody outside of the Andy Reid tree. And 3, it's an opportunity for somebody who has a solid track record.
Yeah, I there's really, for me, there's no negativity at all about this hire. And I can't believe we spent this much time talking about a running back coach. But, this is quite honestly where we are with this offseason, where everything that they do is going to be over-scrutinized. A year ago, they hired a new assistant we didn't even know. Did you know that they had a coach on their team that was coaching the defensive line named Alex Whittingham? You know who that is?
Never heard of him.
He left the Chiefs after this season. You know where he went?
Where?
He went to Michigan. You know why? Because his dad, Kyle Whittingham, is the coach at Michigan now.
Woo!
Was the defensive line being coached by the right people now?
Jeez.
I just found that one out. I'm reading a New York Post article because I looked up Todd Pinkston, who they did fire, and then it said they lost 2 other coaches as well, and then it mentioned this guy. I don't know. I've never heard of this guy. I mean, this guy's got to be from Jersey. Defensive assistant Louis Adazio. I mean, that guy's straight from Jersey.
I loved Zios back in the day.
Louis Adazio, he's leaving for UNLV, and then Alex Whittingham is going to Michigan to coach under his father, Kyle. So now we don't have. Do we hire defensive line coaches? I don't even know that. Who's coaching the defensive line?
Who's on third?
Exactly.
So those just assistants under Colin, I imagine? Under Joe Colin?
Sure.
We may need an emergency Binkley call. Find out who's coaching the D-line.
Colin's the D-line coach. He is the
Joe
D-line.
Colin.
Yeah, Joe Colin's been the D-line coach. So these guys obviously assistants to him.
Somebody in the text line
What
says.
were they doing? I mean, I'm serious. That defensive line stunk, and you had 3 coaches for it?
So basically, all of our coaches were looking at the defensive line like Kurt Signetti's like famous meme. Going crazy, like, what's going on? I think 95 is offsides. He'll figure it out.
He'll figure that out.
Offsides, defense, number 95. He was also offsides previously on the other play, but we felt bad for the defensive line coach.
We have 3 defensive line coaches and 95s laying on the ground.
And Joe Colin credited with developing elite talent on the Chiefs' defensive line. Chris Jones.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
Literally, they had 3 defensive line coaches.
Man,
Hey, man, Chad O'Shea developed Randy Moss.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That's what I'm saying.
yeah.
And Colin got here in 2022. So what? I'm questioning Joe Colin. Yeah, I don't know.
That's fair. That's fair.
What has this D-line done since 2022?
See how we're peeling back the onion now? We're at, who's Joe Cullen?
Who's Joe Colin? Who are you really? You developed Chris Jones? My ass. Chris Jones was way here before 2022.
Chris Jones was already in the Hall of Fame in 2022.
Exactly.
I mean, seriously, he was.
Developed Karl Loftus into what? A mid guy?
Ferocious.
Oh, yeah.
No,
Courageous.
the 40-yard dash developed Chris Jones.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe Colin. Who are you?
Please stand up. Please stand up.
This comes from the 816, and I believe it to be true. My cousin lives in Norman and says Murray is a steal for the Chiefs coaching
Okay.
staff. He loves him.
See, now I will take that, honest to God, I will take that more as truth and fact than anybody on a college message board.
Because on Twitter, thank God, get rid of him. Oh my gosh, sucks to be Kansas. I'm like, all right, I don't know. That's weird.
It's a lot of negativity on there. But again, it's negativity for everything
Yes,
on X,
yes.
right? Like, I was talking to a friend of mine who's flying in for the day, and he was on Southwest. And I'm like, oh, you got to tell me about the new Southwest and how it is, because everybody's complaining on Twitter. And he was listening to the show earlier. He goes, yeah, it's going to be like the bread from the salad. You didn't get your bread, so you bitched about it. He goes, I'm interested to see, like, is Southwest really bad now? Or is it just a couple of people on X and message boards that are making it seem like it's bad right now? That's why I appreciate that. I love that text. Like, that guy goes, yeah, he's going to get a steal. And that's an OU fan who's like, damn, I'm sorry we're losing this guy.
Yeah, I like to hear that.
I also love the text, too, to kind of give it some sort of homage to DeMarco Murray. You know, Philly fans also didn't want Andy Reid.
It's true.
That's great.
I don't think
It's a great text.
I think there were Chiefs fans that didn't want Andy Reid when he came in. Wasn't my first choice after leaving Philadelphia after 2 subpar seasons. I'm like, man, his arrow is pointing down at this point in time.
Do you remember who you
Yes,
wanted?
I do, and I can't remember his name. He ended up going to the Chargers.
Okay.
And he's been an offensive coach. He was with Denver for a hot minute. He's been all over the league, and I can't remember who it was. But I was wrong. I mean, there's no question I was wrong about that. And that's why, like, you have your perceptions, but then when you start talking to the people and getting the information, you start to realize, no, Andy Reid really was the right choice in all of this. Yeah. What was the guy's name? Did you find it?
I don't know. Hal Hunter?
No.
That was one season. Yeah, Frank Reich was there after, so
No.
I don't know.
No. In 2013. Yeah. That's the head coach?
Oh, head coach.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, head coach. Yeah, the head coach. Yeah. who they hired, and I that's the guy that I wanted, and I said it numerous times. I didn't think Andy was the right choice. It was going backwards in Philadelphia.
You wanted Mike McCoy.
That's it, Mike McCoy. I was a fan of Mike McCoy.
Yeah.
I thought he'd be a good hire, and then we got Andy Reid, and I was completely wrong about that. And that's why, like, if it was just me, I would have said no to Andy Reid. But Clark Hunt wasn't me, and did the research and sat with him and figured it out, and so. That's why you got to trust the people who are making the hires because they're getting stuff that we're not,
Yeah, well, you mentioned Dave Toub.
Dave Toub.
Dave Toub, I'm watching you, buddy.
He's definitely on a lot of people's radar.
He's scared right now. He just heard that. He went, uh-oh.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, America.
Yeah.
Max watching me now. We better get a kick back to the end zone this year. Max watching.
Yeah, it's only been 6 years.
Yeah. I mean, we haven't had a return since COVID.
That's.
I mean,
that's sad, man.
That right there has to be one of like the great sports anomalies. Remember the wide receiver touchdown that Dusty's talked about a couple of times, right? Like this has to rank up there. Like, do a quick. I'll ask AI in the break. Like, what's the longest stretch that a team has gone without going to the end zone with either a punt or a kickoff? I mean, 6 years.
Rashid Shaheed's a free agent. I don't know if that moves the needle as like a wide receiver 3 option because I saw somebody on the text line said that
it does as a returner though.
Yeah, and someone said yesterday that Carrington said that he would bring Tyreek Hill back. Obviously, contract has to be differential in some sort of negotiations, but he said bring Tyreek back as like a third receiver option. What if you brought in Rashid Shaheed as that third receiver option that runs the
have
slot?
Him than Tyreek Hill.
Absolutely.
Yeah, can return the kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. And I also, can I just vent for just one quick second? Like when people say, because I saw it on the text line when I came in this morning from somebody last night. Well, I'd bring him in if the deal was right and we didn't have to stop with that nonsense. I hate that crutch. Well, if the price is right, we can bring him in. If the team signs the guy, they believe that the price is right? And so people are like, I take him on a 1-year flyer loaded with incentives. Why would any player, do something like that? And so that's right. Everybody quantifies the Tyreek Hill thing. Well, if the price is right, well, yeah, of course, if the price is right, I'd be driving a Lamborghini or whatever, And so I can't look at it. The teams determine the prices. I hate that kind of that crutch. Well, if the price is right, well, do you want the guy or not? Because I don't care what the price is for Tyreek Hill. I got no business having Tyreek Hill here in Kansas City.
Same. I'm good on that. This from the 816, you're wrong. Toub needs some players, man. Dude, we saw Sky Moore, who was complete garbage, go to the 49ers, and within a month was one of the better returners in the NFL.
That's a big indictment.
Players. That is a huge indictment. Yeah, well, you mentioned Dave Toub.
Toub. Yeah. That's a great point from the text line, Mac, and you too. Is like you saw these guys leave, and Sky Moore, who everybody wanted out of Dodge.
Not an NFL player, we said.
People were saying it. Not yet, right? And here we go. He's having himself a nice little renaissance in San Francisco. Had a nice season out there. And I jokingly said at one point last year, boy, I'd love to have Sky Moore on this team. But I'm not really kidding. Like, who's been the last great returner that this team has had? It has been Tyreek Hill.
Tyreek, for sure.
And that was pre-COVID.
Hardman, yep.
Hardman was good.
Hardman had a couple of nice returns.
Tony.
Yeah,
big return, obviously.
Hardman was boom or bust, though. Like, he wasn't, like, I need a guy who's not going to muff punts, and I know he's going to make the right decision to catch it or to let it go past him. Like, McCall Hardman was fast and had some explosive returns for touchdowns, but Rashid Shaheed is that and then makes all the right choices. He's smart.
Yeah, they should bring in Dexter McCluster to be their return.
Let's go.
Great return coach.
Great guy.
Because that's what we heard about Sky Moore was.
Those were thick
thighs. I'm just having fun seeing all the Mac drops. They're great.
Some good Richards.
That didn't even sound like
no good Richards. Yeah, what is that?
I mean, we know this was you.
Oh yeah,
that's how you feel about Dave Toub right now.
Absolutely.
No, it's a fair point as well. I mean, how many different returners have we had, and how many have returned kicks for touchdowns? Like, you got to get that back in your game as well. There's got to be, like, I'll be honest with you guys, man, and I think we're all starting to see it. Complacency set in a big way after last season going to the Super Bowl, and maybe even a little bit before that, but definitely after last season. Complacency set in a big way, and they got punched in the jaw, and now they've had an opportunity to fix things, and they're destroying it so far this offseason. They've been great. Mm-hmm. They've been great so far this offseason.
I know how to clean a fat ass.
Mm-hmm.
BBL Stinky.
Who's the next Sam Darnold? We'll discuss. There's a list. We'll dive into it. 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
This is voice of the Wildcats, Wyatt Thompson, and you're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Hy-Vee are going to take care of business this weekend for Valentine's Day for you. But you know what? You got to go to Hy-Vee to let them take care of Valentine's Day. Whether you're going to cook that perfect meal at home for your loved one or you're looking for the perfect flowers, dessert, chocolates, it doesn't matter. Hy-Vee has everything covered. You could literally take care of your entire Valentine's Day, stuff when you go to Hy-Vee, from the meal to the dessert to the beautiful flowers that they have in their floral departments. Those are awesome as well. Their floral department at every Hy-Vee is just spectacular. You're going to find fresh, beautiful arrangements and a wide assortment of rose bouquets as well. Throw in some chocolate, add a card, and you're done. And you did it all at Hy-Vee. So just one stop to make this Valentine's Day the sweetest one ever, only at Hy-Vee.
Hey, it's Rob Britton from The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, and we're excited to announce the launch of Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series documenting the run-up to the World Cup with our friends over at 98.1 KMBZ.
And Rob, I'm Scott Parks from Dana and Parks on KMBZ. Beyond the Pitch KC will feature the biggest names who made the World Cup in Kansas City possible, plus the biggest storylines heading into this summer's tournament. This is not a podcast about soccer. Don't get us wrong. This is a podcast about Kansas City. This is a podcast for Kansas City. And this is a podcast that'll tell the story of how our town is hosting the world's biggest sporting event.
New episodes will be released every Wednesday starting on March 4th, as well as video clips that can be seen on 96.5 The Fan and KMBZ's social channels.
Subscribe and download to Beyond the Pitch KC, a limited podcast series with myself, Rob Bretton, on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down, 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we're improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Time is valuable. That's why Lowe's Blueprint Takeoffs turn blueprints into quotes faster. Bring us your plans, and we'll generate itemized material lists to make quoting easier so you can get back to building. Plus, at the Lowe's Pro Desk, you get access to thousands of building materials not sold in store. And when your order's ready, we'll deliver everything to the job site. Improving is easy at Lowe's.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I wish I'd gotten treated for my erectile dysfunction sooner. Men, I hear this all the time from our patients. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if ED is a problem in your life, resolve to get it treated today and stop having it affect you and the one you love. ED is simply a medical condition, and it's fully treatable. And at Heartland Men's Health, we have treatments that are effective in well over 90% of cases. Which means if you're like most guys, your ED will be a thing of the past. In fact, you could be having great sex within a day or two of your first appointment, and you'll likely find you're performing like you haven't in a long time. It's the new year. Resolve to get your ED treated and change your life. Call us at Heartland Men's Health. Your initial visit is only $99. It includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more. Visit our inventory at ShawneeMissionFord.com.
Thank you for a great 2025 and promise to continue giving you reason to shop at Shawnee Mission Ford in 2026. Great selection of new and used vehicles, large discount, top trade allowance, and mobile service when you need it. There's no reason to go anywhere else. Shawnee Mission Ford, on a mission to do more in 26.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
Downtown 670 westbound, very heavy from about Grand over to I-35 with an accident on the transition ramp to go southbound 35. 35 southbound, still sluggish coming down from 12th Street, but otherwise things move pretty well around town. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan, traffic.
I know how to clean a fat ass.
So the Chiefs have not returned a kick in, what did we say, 6 years?
I believe so.
That's a kickoff for a touchdown.
I love to laugh.
Their last punt return for a touchdown was Kadarius Toney. That took place in obviously 2023. We all know that one. Their last kickoff for a touchdown was October 25th, 2020. So right during COVID, Byron Pringle was that gentleman who returned the kickoff for a touchdown.
Go Pringle. You know, I haven't swiped right on 500 men.
I mean, you start to look at it, though, 6 years really isn't that long. I mean, you look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, 2010 is the last time they returned a kick for a touchdown, a kick off for a touchdown. They haven't returned a punt for a touchdown since 2009, so they're in a lot worse shape than we are.
Does that make you pissed or like pissed?
Like pissed.
Okay. It's not really any like serious anger.
Yeah.
Someone had mentioned like my dream scenario. Drew Lock, Chiefs backup or starter for a few games. Never know what happens next from him. At least I'm an Mizzou fan for sure, so sue me. But I'm with you. Unfortunately, Drew Lock is not a free agent quarterback. Now, there are some that make sense because who did you say was Eric Bieniemy's quarterback when he was the offensive coordinator at Washington?
That guy, you said it the other day.
Yeah, I got it. It's
Mac
Sam
Hollins or something.
Howell.
Oh, yeah, with the Red Star. I was thinking college for some. I was like, Washington. When was he there? Yeah, Sam Howell.
So he is a free agent, unrestricted free agent, has ties to Eric Bieniemy. Does he come in if Patrick Mahomes is not ready for the first few weeks? He is a free agent quarterback. The reason I asked that is because we asked before the break, who is the next Sam Darnold, right? First quarterback in the history of the NFL to play for 5 teams and win a Super Bowl. Now,
that's insane.
Now, to be fair, he had like a cup of tea he was with the Jets. Then he was with the Panthers.
Niners.
Vikings.
And then now Seattle.
Yep, Niners for 1 season, backing up Purdy.
How long was he in Carolina, though? I mean,
2 years,
was
I think.
Was he there longer than Baker?
Yeah, just about, yeah.
Because now the list that comes out, that we found this on X, and this comes from Sam Block, and he says, who is the next Sam Darnold? Because all these quarterbacks I'm about to mention have been benched. Justin Fields, Malik Willis, Mac Jones, Will Levis, Trey Lance, Zach Wilson, Kyler Murray, Kenny Pickett, Tua Tagovailoa, Anthony Richardson. Out of those names, which one gives you the most belief that you could see a turnaround type of career like we saw from Sam Darnold?
I mean, there's only one on that list for me, and it's Mac Jones, and that's because I saw a little bit of it this year, obviously. But also, too, I wonder if Mac Jones was just in the right situation with Kyle Shanahan. And I look at the rest of that list, they can go find other jobs. I mean, all those guys suck. I wouldn't take any of those players on my team other than Mac Jones at this point in time.
Why do they suck?
I don't think Justin Fields. I've watched him play. I mean,
Fields, that's fair.
Fields stinks. Malik Willis, no. Mac Jones, I've seen some good things out of him. Will Levis eats mayonnaise. Trey Lance is a disaster. Zach Wilson sucks. Kyler Murray's awful. Kenny Pickett has been all over the place. I'm not a fan. Tua obviously stinks. And Anthony Richardson lost his job to Daniel Jones.
Yeah, you named 3 guys who I would agree got extended chances, and we've seen be bad for a long time, right? Kyler, Tua, Justin Fields, they've gotten chances. They've started games. They've stayed the same relatively, right?
Yeah.
The rest of those guys you mentioned that you're just writing off is exactly what the problem is with the NFL. Will Levis, he was in a terrible system. Brian Callahan sucked. Ran Carthon was a bad GM. It's a bad franchise with a terrible owner. He's still there. He has not gotten a chance since, right?
I wasn't a fan of his coming out of college.
That's fair, and I went out of Kentucky. Yeah, I get it. Trey Lance, drafted too early in a COVID year, weird year, hasn't really gotten that chance.
But we're also 6 years and 3 organizations removed from Trey Lance.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Zach Wilson, though, like he hasn't played since he was on the Jets, which I don't need to talk to you about what the Jets are.
You're right. That's fair. But do you look at Zach Wilson and go, man, that's a guy that's going to rally the troops and be somebody that might. I look at.
Did you look at Sam Darnold and say
exactly?
I look at Sam Darnold more than I did at Zach Wilson like that. I'll be honest with you. I look at Zach Wilson and I see a cherub. I just see a beautiful man that is just good looking. That's all I see.
I know that I'm hard.
I mean, I look at Zach Wilson. I'm like, damn, I wish I looked half as good as you do, bro. Like, I mean, that's where I look at Zach Wilson. I look at him kind of like Matt Leinart. Like he's just good looking and like to play quarterback and doesn't love it. That's my impression.
He'd be good for like the movie, not in real life, right?
Yeah,
And then that's fine. And then Anthony Richardson, I mean, he's legitimately played less than 15 total games, and this is a guy who was extremely talented and extremely raw out of college, in my opinion, which I said when he came out, you need 2 years of him sitting before he plays. 2 years. And then he will be ready. And he hasn't, I mean, this is his 3rd season in the NFL. So it's crazy how quickly we write these guys off. I get it, but no, I would take a chance on a lot of these guys.
But I'm not taking a chance on basically any of those for my backup quarterback here in Kansas City. I still think you need to get yourself somebody that you know that you can rely on if you have to play a game. Mac Jones is one I would consider. All of those quarterbacks should want to come here to Kansas City, but Andy Reid should be like, we're not interested. Thanks.
Yeah, I think that Malik Willis has a high ceiling.
For sure.
I think
really
we
like
saw
him.
what he did for Green Bay, filling in for Jordan Love and keeping that team
Fair
in
point,
playoff contention, especially
Won
when
games.
the season was at its point where it's like, hey, dude, we need you to win, and we need you to be the quarterback that we think you can be. And he did it, and I think Malik Willis will get the biggest contract out of any of these quarterbacks that are listed, and I think he'll go somewhere where he is perfect for that system. Is it Baltimore if they move on for Lamar Jackson? Possibly. Is it
I don't hate that.
Is it the Raiders who give him a stupid contract to be a 2-year starter and he gets an opportunity to play with Brock Bowers and Genty and that,
That'd be fun.
New revamped team with a new coach with an offensive mindset and Clint Kubiak? I don't know. But I think Malik Willis has a higher ceiling than most people on this list. Obviously,
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry to interrupt. But if you're the Raiders and you sign Malik Willis, are you drafting that Mendoza kid at number 1?
I think you should.
He should.
Now, they're different quarterbacks, but again, like you could see what they want the system to be. And I think Mendoza, of course, is not as mobile as Malik Willis, but Mendoza does have legs. He does have his youth. He can create things. We watched that watching Indiana go 16 straight and win a national title, that it wasn't just all his arm that got them, where they needed to be. He was mobile enough. Anthony Richardson, I'm okay with Mac's take on that because, again, I know that forever will be he quit on his team. Well, we clowned Sam Darnold because he said he saw ghosts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's always going to be something that somebody does that people will always take forward and be like, well, you remember this? You remember this? You remember when he did this? Like, yes, I understand that. But Anthony Richardson is 24 years old.
He's 6'5", and he runs a
And
4.4.
again,
throw the ball 90 yards.
Yeah, I mean, he lost his job, to Joe Flacco first, and then they went and got, the guy that
Daniel Jones,
everybody that said it was great. But again, I think that the case for this is that what we just did is what everybody did to Sam Darnold. The fact that not everybody, and again, Sam Darnold might be an anomaly, right? It's the first quarterback ever for 5 different teams to play. But again, if you think that Sam Darnold was just in the right system, then you would say, okay, well, then that was just Minnesota. But he did what he did in Minnesota, and he did it in Seattle and did it better. And I don't know this to be sure, but I don't know if Jets fans or Minnesota fans are more pissed seeing Sam Darnold do what he did this year.
I don't think Jet fans, and I know this just because I pay attention to what goes on, obviously, in New York, and I listen, and I got obviously friends that are Jet fans, and I listen to what they have to say. They're not pissed at all at Sam Darnold. They're pissed at the team, like the team and the coaching and the infrastructure surrounding the team that you had a Super Bowl winning quarterback there, but you had Adam Gase as his head coach, and that guy had crazy eyes, man, and he's back in the NFL. You talk about a coaching staff. The LA Chargers have Adam Gase, Mike McDaniel, and Jim Harbaugh. Wow. That's an eclectic mix right there.
That is.
I mean, can you imagine that meeting? Those 3 guys sitting around talking about whatever it is, man, that would be crazy. That's an eclectic coaching staff out there. So, yeah, Sam Darnold, obviously they're upset. I don't think Minnesota fans are all that upset. They don't really get upset about much in Minnesota. They're such nice people up there. But I think they realize that they made the wrong decision, and I don't think 9's a guarantee to be their quarterback next year at all. And I was listening to something about Minnesota the other day and about the quarterback, and they're like, yeah, 9 is not guaranteed. I think they're going to work very hard to try to replace 9 as their starting quarterback up there in Minnesota.
Jacoby Brissett is the text we got in for backup.
I wouldn't hate that.
I think that would be great.
For 1 to 2 games.
Who is the guy that I saw that the Jets may have as their starting quarterback? Played a couple of games. And was it Jacoby Brissett in Arizona last
Might
year?
have been, yep.
Yeah, I think the
Davis
Jets.
Mills?
No, it was definitely not
Brissett?
him. But
Okay.
I think it was Jacoby Brissett because he fits the mold of what Frank Reich wants as a quarterback. He's the offensive coordinator. He likes tall quarterbacks,
Yeah.
I guess. And so Jacoby Brissett fits that mold. That wouldn't be a bad move for the Jets at all. That's a good veteran quarterback.
Bridge guy.
Yeah, but also, too, back to the Mendoza thing.
Yep,
No, not at all. This is how conversations work, right? You start to just kind of weave back in.
Yeah.
You said you would still draft him if you sign Malik Willis. Why wouldn't you just sign Malik Willis, take the best available player at 1, and go a couple of years with him as your quarterback, and then, there'd be
right.
somebody better in the draft that you can get with that quarterback position. That's what I would do if I was the Raiders. I would sign one of these guys and draft the best effing player available.
Yeah, you're right. After I said that they should, I immediately thought, no, actually they shouldn't. They should be patient. They should do what I've been saying and just wait. You don't have to draft a quarterback at 1. It's not a rule.
No, it's definitely
You don't
not.
have to do it. It's okay. Yeah, go get one of these guys, win 6 to 10 games, probably not 10, more like 5 to 8 games for 2 years, and then find that guy in 2027, 2028.
Or maybe, and I'm not saying tank, but maybe you have another bad year with Malik Willis, and then you're picking at the top again, and then Manning's coming out,
You
and
guys are missing all of it. You already know what's going to happen.
Okay.
The Raiders are bringing back Derek Carr.
I've seen his name floated around a lot for teams.
He's 2026 Phillip Rivers. Why not? You know you're not going to be great. Can Derek Carr win you 6 or 7 games?
Yeah.
Can he give it to Ashton Genty? Can he throw it to Brock Bowers? Can you draft Mendoza then, have Derek Carr come in and be like, here's what you do?
But also, too, I think
Yeah.
Derek Carr's going to have a hot market if he wants to come back.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think he's going to have a really hot market because that goes to show you where the quarterback level play is, right? In the NFL, I think the market for Derek Carr may be one of the best if he wants to play this season. Because all you did was took a year off. You could use it as an injury year. You're a quarterback. You don't think you used to get hit all the time. You can still throw the football. It's different than a running back or a wide receiver or somebody who took a year off, Le'Veon Bell. But Derek Carr, I mean, yeah, I think he's going to be a hot name, and I don't hate that. Go back to the Raiders. It's a new regime now there in Las Vegas. That wouldn't be a bad thing. But if I'm the Raiders, yeah, I like the idea of signing somebody else and taking the best available player and worrying about the quarterback at a later date.
Speaking of a hot market, this guy will have one in the offseason this year, and we will discuss what it could bring or if the Chiefs would be in discussion. You decide as well. 913-586-7965. We talk about it next on 96.5 The Fan, your home for the Kansas City Chiefs.
You're listening to Bob Fescoe.
I'm surprised nobody punched him in the jaw yet.
And Dusty Likens.
He's a hoe, and I want that known.
Brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends at QC Kinetics are saying it is time for you to feel better, and we're going to do this thing without surgery, without downtime, and without meds. And you're thinking, really? We can do that? Yes, at QC Kinetics, you can get that joint relief that you need in your knees and your shoulders and your back and your elbow, all from my friends at QC Kinetics without putting your life on hold. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in cellular level treatments. 40,000 people have used the services at QC Kinetics to revitalize joint tissue naturally. And patients who thought surgery was the only answer are getting their lives back thanks to QC Kinetics advanced regenerative treatments. QC Kinetics uses safe, natural treatments to activate your body's healing power with zero downtime. Get started now to ease inflammation and slow the progression of arthritis. 40,000 people can't be wrong. So before you say yes to surgery, do your research and call my friends at QC Kinetics for a free consultation. 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics off 435 in State Line and in Gladstone. 816-412-6299.
Booth Creek Wagyu knows the only thing better than love in the air this Valentine's Day is the aroma of authentic American full-blooded Wagyu steaks and beef on the grill. That's why Booth Creek has put together a world-class package of premium Wagyu steaks and buttery, succulent lobster tails ready for you to impress your sweetheart at both Booth Creek Wagyu locations at 95th and Knoll and 135th and Metcalf, or delivered anywhere in the country at boothcreekwagyu.com. Make sure this Valentine's Day is well done with Booth Creek Wagyu.
Hi, this is Toby Tobin along with Jason Goodenkoff from Lewisburg Ford in Lewisburg, Kansas. Hi, Jason.
Hello, Toby.
Let's talk about the buying experience at Lewisburg Ford.
It's the best anywhere. Just ask all our customers, Toby. It is hands down the best experience you can have buying a new car. We have the no-hassle Toby Tobin price that we've had for over 45 years now. Nobody else can say that. We've been saving Kansas City thousands and thousands of dollars for a lot of years.
I have been buying Ford cars and trucks from Lewisburg Ford for over 30 years, and I know personally this is the best place to buy a Ford car or truck. Great prices, but there's a whole lot more than that.
It doesn't just stop at price, Toby.
No.
There's other factors to this equation, and it's trade-in allowance, financing, and the experience of how knowledgeable the people are that you're dealing with. And we surpass everybody in all those areas. We always have. We always will. That's why calling us is important.
Do you have that new pickup?
Absolutely. And it's dynamite.
Okay. Lewisburg Ford is your best place to buy a Ford car or truck. What's your toll-free number?
816-444-2300.
Lewisburg Ford or lewisburgford.com.
And we're out. Back in 60.
Hey, what are you eating? Chimichurri filet mignon. It's a Factor meal. Oh, nice. Wait, they let you eat like that in the pros? Oh, they insist on it. A pro's work starts on the plate. Oh, man, that does look good. Let me have a taste? Get your own. All right. Where do I find this? Is it factormeals.com? Yep, and they've got a deal going on. Oh, love a deal. I am so in. Smart move. Pro move. All right. Factor. Eat like a pro.
At Target, we're unlocking all the feels this Valentine's Day. It's the perfect time to spread extra love and spoil everyone on your list with unforgettable gifts. First, give a cuddle-worthy surprise with the cutest plush toys, or get party ready and treat yourself to stylish women's dresses you'll heart. Both 20% off. Then dive into the ultimate cozy celebration with your faves with 30% off select women's pajamas. There's something sweet for all your special someones, even you. Find Valentine's Day gifts for everyone at Target.
Here's your traffic report on 96.5 The Fan.
670 westbound slowing from 71 over to 35 with an earlier accident. 29 northbound slows across the bridge and then bogs down at Parvin. Stays pretty heavy up towards North Oak Traffic Way. 35 southbound is also affected from Brighton. Alan Carr, 96.5 The Fan. Traffic.
Beyond the Pitch KC, a new podcast hosted by Scott Parks and Rob Brenton, telling the stories behind the World Cup in Kansas City. Starts Wednesday, March 4th on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Look at this guy with the handlebar mustache that just came down the hill, Dusty. He's having himself a time over there in Milan. Look at this guy. He's excited. He's happy to be interviewed. I love this guy. Looks like my friend Jim who goes skiing all the time with the handlebar mustache. Look at this guy. I just kicked everybody's ass in snowboarding, man. Go fire and spark one up and have myself a time.
This is from the 620 regarding DeMarco Murray, who has been quite the story so far in our show today, from an OU grad.
Okay.
And my former co-host on a sports show. You can keep Murray. That said, he'll be good in the pros. His issue at OU was he was a hard-nosed coach, and Gen Z and Gen Alpha don't like that. Coaching men, he'll be great.
Oh, so he's kind of like a B-enemy.
B-enemy type guy. Okay.
Scott, no, makes sense here. See?
I like that.
Now, I will say this, though. When they say about the Gen Z or whatever it was there at the end, those guys are the same generation that are at the pros, though. I mean, and will be at the pro level. So just because you're in the pros doesn't mean you take to yelling and screaming and doesn't mean that is an effective way to do business. I am Gen X. What are you, Mac? Gen
Zillennial, yeah, Gen
A2
Z,
or whatever. I get started all over again. So the three of us
I'm a man. I'm 40.
But what's interesting is that the three of us are three different generations, right? I'm considered old school now. You're considered young. He's the middle guy, right? And so let me ask you guys this. As an old guy, a middle guy, and a young guy, are you responsive to a boss that manages and tries to get you to do something by yelling? Because my answer is no. I do not do that. I've had bosses, I've worked with people who do that. And that is not an effective way of leadership for any generation. So I hate when people throw that, oh, it's a generation. No, it's not. I'm almost 50 years old, and if some adult got in my face and started screaming, I'd probably just walk right past them and not respond and not do anything that they're asking you to do. This is not 1965 where it's okay to yell at people and scream at people and expect them to be motivated by fear. People aren't motivated that way.
I think it depends on if it merits it or not. I don't necessarily need my boss to be a screamo, hardo constantly, but if like the message needs to get across, then I think that's when I know that things are serious. Like I've had bosses in restaurants that have been sarcastic, right? Where it's like, you show up to work, you don't have your name tag, and they know exactly who you are, but they say, and your name is? And you're like, come on, dude, it's Dusty. He's like,
Yeah.
oh, I wouldn't know that. Your name tag's not on. And that kind of rubs people the wrong way, that sort of tactic. That to me is humorous and self-deprecating, where I'm like, all right, I'm not going to make this guy do it ever again. And then I've had bosses before that, we'd have what they considered a lineup where you had to have certain things before the shift. And if you didn't have it, your ass got sent home. It should be a privilege to work wherever you're employed. It's basically the message they will tell you. And, let me ask you this. Juwan Taylor jumps off sides for the third straight time. Do you think it merits a, come on, man, you're better than that?
No.
Or do you think it merits a, get your effing ass on the sideline? I'm sick of this.
What it merits is not seeing the field. And not, you know what I would do if I were them? I would just send in a sub, and I'd sub them out in the huddle. Sorry, man, you're out. Make them walk off the field.
Oof, that would make
you
him feel it.
That's how you do it, because the whole crowd would cheer, because everybody knows what you're doing. The whole crowd would cheer. And you don't say anything. You don't yell at them. You just let them.
That tap on your shoulder, you're like,
yeah.
Oh, what? Yeah, man, you're going.
Because I've been the victim of every single one you could imagine, right? Like my mom and my dad parented me different. My dad was very dry, very subtle. My mom, a vicious right hand. But I probably deserved it every time I got a swat from my mother because I either smarted back, but you know what? I didn't tell her things ever again that I did before that got that. I've had bosses, I've had coaches that have done that where I was, no shock here, a smart ass, and they'd had enough, and they let me know that they'd had enough, and I responded well. And I get it, everybody's different, and it works for different people, and there is a fine line of too far and not far enough. We all know that very well in life. Like getting cut off in traffic the first time, well, that guy sucks. Happens again, you're like, all right, what the? You know what I mean? Like it happens that way. So I do think that it's okay to have some of that, especially the way the Chiefs have it, like with the balance they have. Like I don't think Tobe is a guy that does things very kindly. Judging by the way I see him act on the sidelines, I don't think he's a guy that's going to be like, gosh, darn it, Sky.
No.
And Matt Nagy is that guy, right? He's not the guy that's going to yell in your face. So what do? They brought Eric Bieniemy in to, I think, be that guy. Is DeMarco Murray that person? I don't know, but someone tell me that they have, done a sports show and being a grad from Oklahoma, I would trust that you're around that, and I trust that opinion. Like, I think that there are different people in the world of sports that do have that sort of ability to either accept that or not. And, sometimes it's like, man, who's that guy really laid into? It's like, I deserved it.
Yeah, but you also have to understand who people are as well. And you do have to manage everybody differently. And I know there used to be a time where, like Bill Parcells, Jimmy Johnson, I'm going to treat Emmitt Smith and Lawrence Taylor differently because they've earned that. And they're absolutely right about that. Each individual should be treated as themselves. And if you're a veteran guy that's been around and you make a mistake, you're not going to get the same treatment as a rookie who's made the mistake 3 times in a row, right? As a veteran guy, they're going to let you, kind of ease in and take care of you because you're a veteran guy. You've been there. You get the benefit of the doubt. And so you have to understand each person is different. And some people may respond well to screaming. I just haven't met a lot of those people lately. I just haven't. I haven't met a lot of people who are willing to kind of hang out and just be yelled at all the time. And whether you play football or whether you're a doctor or everything in between, people, in my opinion, just now are just no longer motivated by fear. And with the new generation and Mac's generation, they don't, as Dusty said, as a privilege to work here. That generation doesn't look like it as a privilege to work here anymore. People, they don't look at it like people in Mac's generation, I'm finding out, are not looking at employers as a privilege to work there. I read articles all the time about how the young generation is just out. They're not doing this kind of stuff. They're not doing that kind of stuff because they don't look at it as a privilege. Like the K-State players right now, if I'm those guys, I'm out. It's no longer a privilege to play for this. I don't want to be part of this operation. But the young generation, and Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, you guys don't look at jobs as privileges anymore. You look at it as a job, and if it's not meeting your needs, you're bouncing.
Absolutely. Yeah. My happiness and mental health are way more important than that. F you, pay me. Absolutely. That is the way it works in my head. And I will say a couple things here. Difference between coach and boss.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Big difference.
Massive. Grand Canyon size gap.
Honestly, because a boss yelling in here, you're out. I'm not responding to you. And honestly, I'm going to Roxanne. I mean, I'm emailing. I'm that guy. If someone was yelling at me, absolutely not. I'm not standing for that. And I would talk about it. And you call me a tattletale, sissy, whatever. But no, I mean, that's just the way that works. If you're going to yell and curse at me in a radio station, get at.
I wish I had your balls 20 years ago.
Well,
there's a drop.
And then
because nobody did that kind of stuff. Like people would just take the abuse.
And I know the text line's going to hate that, and they're going to call me young. Whatever. I don't care.
I don't care what the text line says about this. This is how the world is changing, though.
But with a coach, I do think there are those times, but it can't be all the time. And you're right, Bob. You've got to pick your places. You've got to know who you're talking to. But there is a huge gap between coach and boss. Also, I will say that text specifically said hard-nosed. Doesn't mean screaming.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean screaming. Stern, you know?
But also, too,
do it again.
But also, too, I think people have a tough time determining what's being hard-nosed and challenge you to be your best versus, oh, this guy's being mean. Is he being mean or is he challenging you because he believes in you?
True.
And you need to bring out your best.
Yes.
But there are ways to do that. There are kind ways to do that. Like Bill Self. I mean, you talked about him earlier about the way he handled the Darren Peterson thing. You just thought with the atmosphere, maybe it would be okay,
And smart.
Yeah, Bill's a genius.
So smart.
Bill has got a photographic memory. Bill is a chameleon. He can blend in with anybody, anywhere, at any time. He understands every situation. There's nobody better than Bill Self at that kind of stuff. And that's why the players love him. You're not going to catch Bill Self or Andy Reid or any of the greats getting up there and saying our players don't deserve to wear this uniform.
I will also say, how many times does the player or the employee do something that does merit the response of that person?
True,
because I can give you two specific examples. I know we're against the break. We're going to have somebody from Oklahoma talking about DeMarco Murray here on the other side. But I will say this. One time at a restaurant in Jack Stack, I got this literally a 25 top party.
Oof.
Didn't want it. It was at 3:30, and I threw a fit. And you can talk to my buddy Jeffrey Ruslow about this. He probably remembers it this day. I threw an absolute fit. I knew I was out the door in 30 minutes. I knew if I took this party, I was going to be there for another hour and a half, 2 hours. And he ripped my ass. I mean, a whole nother level. And he looked at me and told me the whole time, he's going, so you're mad about money in your pocket? You got somewhere to be at 4:30 on a Saturday when you didn't mention it all on this day? And everybody saw it. And after it was over, he pulled me to the side in the back walking. He goes, you know why I did that? Because you did this first. You're going to make money, and you're the only MFer in here that can do this party. So do it and prove me right. And I was thrown back. And I was like, oh, I needed to be checked. And the other time that I've learned the best.
But the difference is he came back.
Correct. And we don't hear about that, where those guys probably do that. And the other one, I hold Vern to this staple all the time. He taught me the best in a moment of despair that I've ever had. I had ruined his pregame show by hitting the start stops at the wrong time, fading in and out. You know what Vern did? Hey, just do better. Don't make the same mistake again, and I'll be okay with you. And Vern and I are best friends to this day, and I was at his wedding. Because that lesson, how he taught me in that moment, just the phrase, do better, hit me harder than anybody that ever yelled at me in my entire life.
It does, but that's the way you've got to do it. Screaming is just white noise anymore, right? Sometimes you have to because your emotions get the best of you. But as a football coach on the sidelines or whoever in life, you're not going to get the most out of people by just berating them.
Well, we'll get the most out of this guy on the other side because he's all about Oklahoma football, and DeMarco Murray is now here as a coach for the running backs on the Kansas City Chiefs roster on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty, brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan.
Well, I'll tell you what, my friends over at Jay's Southland Tow Service want you to do something for them, and that's put their number in your phone, because when you have car trouble, you're in a panic and you just don't know what to do, right? Well, the first thing you need to do is call my friends over at Jay's Southland Tow. To put that number in your phone, it's simple. Just punch in 816-779-4TOW. That's 816-779-4TOW. And that number now is in your phone. And so when you do have a car accident, or if you maybe run out of gas, or you locked your keys in the car, or your car just won't start, whatever it is, Jay's Southland Tow Service is there for you, and they're just a phone call away. Whether you're north or south, east or west, Jay's Southland Tow Service is a simple phone call away. And right now, we're getting closer to spring. You know that. They're going to be hauling campers, and they can haul your camper right down to the lake. They can do that with your boat as well. So for all of those needs, Jay's Southland Tow Service is just a phone call away. So call them now at 816-779-4TOW, or check them out at southlandtow.com. Use the tow service trusted by most local police departments, and Tammy from the Westin, it's Jay's Southland Tow. There's nothing they can't do, so be in the know and use Jay's Southland Tow.
What's up, guys? It's Drew. Listen up. It's 2026, and this is going to be your best year yet when it comes to sex. You know why? Because you're finally going to take the advice and try the chewable tablets from Blue Chew. Blue Chew's tablets help you feel and perform at your best, and their licensed medical providers work with you to find the right ingredient for your prescription. Be more confident where it counts. Blue Chew's a small chew for a big difference, because showing up matters during life's most exciting moments. You know, just like the athletes that we love to root on for every single day of the week, these athletes have to be able to show up when it matters during the game's most exciting moments. You need to show up during life's most exciting moments. Be ready when she is. It's not just about performance. Give your partner something to brag to their friends about, because nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com and get your first month free when you use the promo code KFNZ at checkout. You just cover $5 for shipping. That's promo code KFNZ. Just cover $5 for shipping. That's it. Then you'll be ready to chew it and do it.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love. Sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
Hey everyone, I'm Josh Radner, and I am so excited to tell you about How We Made Your Mother, a rewatch podcast looking back at How I Met Your Mother. And I'm here with Craig Thomas, who co-created the show along with Carter Bays. Hi, Craig.
Hey, Josh. Somehow it has been 20 years since the show premiered. I'm going to check the math on that. 10 years since it went off the air, and we thought that made this a perfect time to look back, see what the hell we did, and why the show still seems to resonate with fans around the world today.
Follow and listen to How We Made Your Mother wherever you get your podcast.
Today, expect partly sunny skies with a high of 60.
Weather brought to you by Duke's Mayo. Welcome to Duke's Mayo Country, where the mayo is so smooth and creamy, it makes every bite better. Duke's Mayo. Look for the yellow lid.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Car, truck, or motorcycle wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
816-888-7500. Mike's got this.
Going along on a Thursday. I hope you all enjoy the weather today. Looks like it's going to be another beautiful one. Dusty Likens here with you. Mac Morey, Bob Fescoe on a Thursday. Biggest news stories out of the day today. Jerome Tang's press conference. You've got that going on. You've got also the new hire of DeMarco Murray for the Kansas City Chiefs as a running backs coach. And everything that will be developed in the future for the Kansas City Chiefs, what they do next, because we have free agency, we have the draft, we have all this stuff. I'm excited to see what DeMarco Murray can bring to this team.
Yeah, I am too. I think it's going to be a kind of a breath of fresh air, hopefully,
So we go to OU, where we are joined now by Jesse Crittenden. I probably butchered your name, man. I'm sorry. If you can give it, I did it. My last name is Likens, and people call me Lickens. So welcome to the world, man. I apologize, dude.
No, you're good, man. Look, my whole life, people have misspelled my first name and mispronounced my last name. And I got to say, especially for your first time saying it, that was pretty good.
I appreciate it. Hey,
Yeah.
man, I'm a millennial. I take millennial trophies because that's what we just spent the last time about. But, Jesse, I want to get to it because I know you do a lot of stuff for Oklahoma and the football team as well. What would be your selling point to Kansas City Chiefs fans with the hiring of DeMarco Murray?
That he's coming to Kansas City because he wants to be there specifically. I think it's important to know that, DeMarco Murray is an OU guy. Obviously he played there, had a really successful playing career at OU. He's been at OU for the last 6 years and has loved being in his alma mater. He's been chased by a lot of top programs and even some NFL programs over the last few years, but continued to stay at OU because he loved to be there so much. And I think this jump to Kansas City is because he wants to be there. He wants to be with the Chiefs. He wants to be on Andy Reid's staff. And I think he's excited about jumping from college football to the NFL. Obviously, his NFL playing career was shortened by injuries, but he had a really successful NFL career, obviously, as well. So I think in addition to that, I think he has a good track record of development, and obviously, but with his playing career both in college and in the NFL, it's hard to find a guy who has the experience of top level college football coaching as well as a successful career at both college and the NFL. So I think it's all of that combined with the fact that he wants to be there, I think are the main selling points for Chiefs fans.
You said that 3 times now, and I don't want to sound like the Backstreet Boys and say, tell me why, but you said 3 times that he wants to be here. Why do you believe that? And give me more on that. Like, do you know that for a fact? Has he said, like, if I'm going anywhere, it's Kansas City?
No, he hasn't said that, on the record or anything, but people, we've heard that as much as, look, he got pursued by Ohio State a couple of years ago. He's been pursued by Michigan. I think the Eagles have interest in him before, but that Andy Reid and that staff reached out to OU and Brent Venables in the last few days once he became a real target for the Chiefs staff, and I think he really thought about staying at OU, despite how exciting that opportunity was. But I think the opportunity to coach under Andy Reid and be on that staff, I think was a real thing for him. I think the culture at Kansas City, obviously the success they've had over the last several years, I think played a huge role for him. So yeah, I think the fact that he not only considered this really closely, but then obviously is making the jump there. It's because it's Kansas City. It's because it's on Andy Reid's staff. As much as I think he, liked the idea of jumping to the NFL, he wasn't going to do it for just any reason. If he was going to do that, he would have done that a few years ago. So I think the fact that he's leaving a place he loves so much in Oklahoma, going to the NFL, I think speaks to just how much he respects the success that Kansas City has had, how much he respects the success that Andy Reid has had, and I think for him, it's not only just the jump to the NFL, but I think it's the opportunity to learn on that staff and develop himself as a coach.
Talking to Jesse Crittenden of OU Insider, beat writer or beat reporter and editor for the OU Insider. Jesse, I want to ask this because we got a little bit. Some information just reading, obviously Reddit, how these things go. Some people not happy with DeMarco Murray and kind of happy that he's leaving Oklahoma. What say you with that? Is that just like the strong bias of Oklahoma fans?
Well, Oklahoma fans are notoriously hard to please. So that's one. 2, it would be fair to say that DeMarco Murray's tenure at Oklahoma wasn't necessarily all highs and no lows. There were definitely some ups and downs. I think it's a little complicated when you go into it year by year, because there's some things you look at, and when he got to OU, his first couple seasons in 2020 and 2021, the running game was good. He developed guys like Ramondre Stevenson. Even in 2022, he took Eric Gray, and Eric Gray was one of the best runners in college football that season, and eventually got drafted, and that kind of came out of nowhere. Eric Gray kind of went from a change of pace guy to a true bell cow running back, and was one of the biggest bright spots that season. You look at the last 3 years, he's done really well as a recruiter. He's done a really good job of getting young talent in the door, but there's definitely been some ups and downs with that. I mean, the running game has struggled the last couple of years. I think OU finished 112th in rushing offense a season ago. Now, not all of that. There's a lot of factors that go into that, right? But the running game has been a major source of frustration the last couple of years. I think his running back rotations have been a source of frustration for fans for a few different reasons. So I think some of it is just is fans being really, really hard on him. I think they had really high expectations for him coming in, and obviously as the running game struggled, and also just as the offense struggled as a whole. Anybody that's followed college football knows that OU had success because of the defense and not necessarily the offense. So I think that plays into it, and also I think there was just some disappointment that the running game hasn't been as productive as maybe as it could be based on the talent in that room. So I think there was sometimes a disconnect between his ability as a recruiter and his ability to get talent in the door, and then maybe necessarily the results on the field. But as far as almost anything, there's a lot of ways you can dive into that, and there's some complexity to that. And I think as much as there are fans that have been frustrated with him, I think there will also be a large segment of fans that are disappointed with this outcome.
Do you think he left because of that disappointment with the fans and got to the point where, like, I don't want to deal with this anymore?
I mean, I don't think that's a primary motivator in him leaving by any means. He definitely wasn't. He wasn't ignorant of that criticism. I think over the last couple of years that was a thing that's been on his mind. I mean, even 2 years ago, there was a real possibility that he was going to jump to Ohio State, and OU gave him a contract extension and a raise to keep him in town. Now, honestly, I think some of that was just posturing, and I don't think he ever wanted to leave Oklahoma, but I do think that was a part of him being at least willing to hear offers, from other programs. But I think as much as there were any frustration or any criticism with that, I think all of that was outweighed by just being at Oklahoma. And not only being at Oklahoma, I think he really enjoyed being on the staff. I mean, even coaching under Brent Venables, who obviously was the defensive coordinator at Oklahoma during DeMarco Murray's playing days. They had a really strong relationship. I mean, he loves Norman. His family loves Norman. So, I think most coaches are going to get criticism at some point. It kind of doesn't matter how successful you are. And so I think even if he was aware of some of that, I think just being at Oklahoma outweighed a lot of that. And I think ultimately he's making this jump to the NFL. He's making this jump to the Chiefs because he is excited about the opportunity and feels like it's best for he and his family. But there's no other way to say it other than if he wasn't really excited about this opportunity, he would still be at Oklahoma.
Jesse, you got one more for you because somebody had texted into our text line about, and I want to ask you because you're the beat reporter and editor of the OU Insider, and I want to ask you this because it's no secret that a lot of people in Kansas City are excited to have Eric Bieniemy here because he keeps players accountable. And one thing that we were told is that some people might not have liked DeMarco Murray because he's a hard-nosed football coach. Is there any truth to that?
Yeah, definitely, and I should also acknowledge that coaching with Eric Bieniemy, it was also a big part of this. It's not just Andy Reid. I think there's real excitement from DeMarco, to be with Bieniemy as well. There's definitely a hard-nosed component to it. Even a couple of years ago, one of maybe the best OU running back in the 2023 season, Tawee Walker, missed a game, and because he got into a verbal altercation with DeMarco Murray. And when you talk to players that have been in the program, he definitely coaches really, really hard. I mean, even this last year, OU added Jaden Ott out of Cal, and I think Jaden Ott was easily one of the biggest transfer portal players in the country. And when OU got him, it was a big deal, and he was on all SEC preseason team. I think a lot of people were expecting him to be a 1,000-yard rusher kind of player, but you get to the end of the year, he didn't have 100 rushing yards. He barely played, and I think some of that was, as much as college football has warped into this transfer portal NIL era, how much are you paying players? Once you got in the door, it kind of, all of that kind of went away, and it was about did you work hard enough? Did you fit the system well enough? And so, I mean, he barely stepped on the field. So, I think in some ways, as much as it did, there was legitimate complaints or criticisms about the way he handled the running back rotation at times. I really think jumping to the NFL, I think some of that is going to get there's going to be a bigger through line. I think there's just going to be naturally more organization when you're not dealing with things like NIL or the portal or developing and recruiting and that kind of things. When you can just focus on the running back room that you have and the fact that these are professional athletes, I think some of that will get cleaned up a little bit, and I think DeMarco will be able to focus just on coaching his guys and just being on the field. So there's definitely he's kind of an old school. I mean, he's not super old, obviously, but there's an old school kind of mentality that he brings, and I do think that could be a real asset to the Chiefs and into the NFL.
That is Jesse Crittenden. Did I get that one? Did I nail it?
You did. That was perfect.
Hey, man.
That was perfect.
And you didn't have to yell at me like DeMarco Murray. I was just going to do it my damn self. Hey, keep rocking that awesome, I think, what is that, a pink cashmere, like, in your profile picture? That thing's slick, buddy. I'll tell you what.
Thanks, man. I'm pretty proud of that, actually.
You
I
wear
appreciate
that damn thing twice a week and 3 times on Sunday, my man. We appreciate the time, Jesse.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
That is Jesse Crittenden of the OU Insider beat reporter and editor.
If we're doing one word, my one word, sold.
There we go.
I know.
See, that's why you can't listen to message boards and who gives it? I almost said a word there.
Easy, Bobby.
What their fans are saying on message boards about assistant coaches or players or anything being said on a message board. You've got to just take.
I'll take the guy that's up the OU ass 24/7.
Well, he's there all the time. Yeah,
I mean, it's not just football. He's doing basketball, softball, all that stuff.
I mean, so I thought that was great. Like, I'm ready. Like, let's go, man. Like, that's an exciting hire now.
Trying out for running back now?
I might.
You're gonna be like,
couldn't be much worse. I mean,
what's the late great Burt Reynolds from The Longest Yard?
Yeah.
The hell's he doing? Bob with eye black.
Yeah. But he said it 3 times in that first answer. He wants to be here, wanted to be here, wanted to be here. And it wasn't like he's a job jumper and he was just looking for the next great job. He got called by Kansas City. Yeah, that's where I want to go. Have the opportunity to work with Andy Reid and take that next step. Like,
he also mentioned Derek Bieniemy.
I would say that's my one word is Bieniemy. It sounded like Bieniemy was the poll. I don't think we get that hire.
The culture.
Yeah, I don't think we get that hire without BB here.
And maybe we don't. But it also lends a little bit to what Jay Binkley was saying. When Jay talks about hiring offensive coordinators, he wants the guy who's going to be the next head coach. That sure sounds like DeMarco Murray's taking this job maybe to start to learn a little bit more and have that tutelage and get more experience and, learn from some of the greats, one of the greatest of all time right now in Andy Reid. So I think this move works. And again, that's why people jump to these message boards and X. What are they saying? Fans don't know what these coaches are doing. Like, they're complaining about the running back rotation. How much of that is on a running back coach or the offensive coordinator calling the plays? I mean,
it happens all the time.
Yeah, exactly, Jay.
Yeah, I don't want to label fans as complete idiots. We're doing the same thing here in Kansas City. We're talking about Todd Pinkston and Connor Embry, brother. We're Googling people.
We saw those results.
And they saw those results for the last 3 years in Oklahoma. I'm not taking it for everything and for gospel either. Love what Jesse said. Totally sold. I'm just not going to paint fans on message boards as they don't know anything. They watch more OU football than you have ever seen.
No doubt, but it doesn't mean they know anything.
No, it doesn't mean they don't know anything either, though. They're watching the games. Jesse's watching the games, too. He's just sitting at a higher vantage point.
And
but I
talking
really
to the
liked
people,
what he had to say.
and getting the behind-the-scenes stuff is so important, when you make these kind of hires to find out the why. The name, he stinks at OU. Okay, let's find out why. Let's find out who. Let's get all the details and gather that information. And hopefully once you do that, as we've talked about a lot, you can change your perception on things, right? We've all had our perception changed by information that we gathered. And coming in this morning, they hired a running back coach. Great. After hearing that interview, I'm like, I'm excited now. I think
know
this
that
could be
I'm hard.
a really good hire for this organization. And I like it.
That's why we have people like that on the show.
Yeah.
Because we trust you who text in and say, former grad student, did a sports show. I totally trust you. You're part of the reason why we have those people on to ask those questions, and then we get the truth from somebody who's constantly there. Like, are you going to believe Vern or are you going to believe me?
Yeah.
I go to 12 day games. Vern goes to 40. Vern knows.
Oh, Vern goes to 80.
Well, not all day games were played.
No,
during the
day
season.
games, yeah, right. But
so again, like, those are the people that know, and now I think that you have a better perception of what maybe DeMarco Murray can be in Kansas City. So I asked this to come up with this topic because we talked about, loosely AJ Brown. Do you now debunk what people will say the diva mentality with guys like Bieniemy and guys like DeMarco Murray who aren't going to put up with that and maybe can change the culture of what this team, or what these guys were? Because a popular name is AJ Brown, and another popular name of a wide receiver out there that I think is on a wish list for
dude,
Chiefs
Canada's
fans.
got sick hockey jerseys, by the way. Sorry to interrupt there.
But I think that there is a player that is on a wish list that I don't think is going to happen, so I call it a wish list. But a guy like George Pickens is out there. And there's no secret that George Pickens can be a hothead or a little loose with his attitude. Seemed to keep it all together in Dallas last year. And then now he is a free agent. Now there are rumors that Dallas is going to throw the franchise tag on him and lock him up. But do attitudes worry you anymore if you have that sort of narrative of DeMarco Murray and you know what the narrative of Eric Bieniemy is?
I'm just going to be very blunt here and say it's Kansas City. Attitudes don't bother me because I haven't seen an attitude here. And that's because of the head coach. I think players develop attitudes because their leadership and their operation is a clown show and they know it. I mean, when you have good coaching and good leaders and good people in charge, we've been here now 13 years with Andy Reid. The closest thing we've seen to a tantrum is Travis Kelce getting upset on the sidelines, and that dissipates fast, right? And he's also Travis Kelce. He can kind of get away with a couple of things that nobody else can. But in 13 years, guys, we've not seen a diva in this organization. I think when you have a strong leader and when you have great support staff that know and send the message that the organization is number one and you aren't, I think you get the buy-in. And if you don't get the buy-in, those people don't stick around all that long. Again, Tyreek Hill was traded for a reason. It's not because he wasn't good anymore. They were like, okay, we're starting to get to that point now where we're going to have to pay this guy. We don't know if he's the guy that we want to pay and all that. So they moved on from him. But so I guess with Andy Reid, the diva thing that a lot of these guys may have and that crutch that people want to follow, he's been a diva here. I know with my own eyes, guys, and correct me if I'm wrong, in 13 years, we've not seen the diva mentality out of anybody here in Kansas City.
Yeah, I agree. And I would add the fact that A.J. Brown, to me, isn't a diva. And
I don't think he is either, Mac.
I really don't. He was with the Tennessee Titans with Mike Vrabel, and they were best buds. And that is a hard-nosed coach.
Look who that coach is.
Exactly.
Look who that leader is.
And they loved each other, and he got the best out of A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown is a guy, he was pissed for reasons. That offense sucked last year. It was anemic, and he wanted it to be better. He wanted their team to be better. I think A.J. Brown would be awesome here.
I do too, and I don't listen to the diva stuff because that's a great pull by you. When Vrabel was in charge of of that team, there was not a peep.
Nope.
Nobody thought A.J. Brown was a diva.
No.
He goes to Philly now, and they constantly are changing their offensive coordinators. I don't know how much of a belief there is in the quarterback there, and you don't exactly have Andy Reid or Mike Vrabel walking through that door as the head coach.
Yeah.
Do you think Nick Sirianni is keeping these guys accountable?
I'm not trying to be sarcastic here, but was Terrell Owens a diva when he was in Philadelphia?
Wasn't he? Yeah.
I mean, he did do sit-ups in his driveway.
Yeah, that was for a contract, right?
Yeah.
But
I don't remember the why on
Was
that
he
one,
more of one when he went to Dallas, or was he more? I don't remember, because I know San Francisco, he got a little arrogant quickly.
Well, he got on the Star when he was in San Francisco.
Yeah, and then he went to Philly, and he played with a broken knee in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I don't think he was a diva. Like the sit-up thing, people would probably say, yeah.
For the contract?
But for the I don't... I'd ask Andy. I don't remember enough about T.O., whether or not. But if that's the only diva that Andy's had in 27 years of coaching in the NFL, I mean.
Maybe this characterizing him less as a diva, more as like a showman.
Yeah, it's too much arrogance.
Yeah, he's just very, confident in himself.
But you also look at the man, you're like, damn.
All right, fair enough.
But the guy always went out there and played.
Bald, even like you said, broken leg.
Yeah,
I'm playing.
the
but-
guy's,
Whatever
the guy's
it was,
playing.
ligament damage.
Yeah,
Either way, his leg was not healthy.
I'll tell you what. His last name ain't Peterson. He didn't sit out with a cold.
Oh, that guy's just never going to live with that.
No, he really isn't.
No.
For years it's going to continue, and everybody knows it too, right? But no, I hate that this guy's a diva. Not in Kansas City. I mean, and we've had plenty of guys that could be divas that are great at what they do. And they all understand the message here. It's about the team. It's about winning. It ain't about you. And when you can think about that in life, it ain't about you, things will go better.
No doubt. Coming up, we'll wrap this show up on the other side. We'll get you an updated medal count. And you are right. Those Canadian jerseys are clean. They're just red and white with a maple leaf, but boy, they're sharp. Here on 96.5 The Fan, your home for Kansas City sports.
You're listening to Fescoe and Dusty on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Fescoe and Dusty is brought to you by Golden Oak Lending. Do you need extra cash? Golden Oak Lending can convert your home's equity into cash in as little as 14 days. Let Golden Oak Lending cure your blues.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Did you know about 1 in 3 people with plaque psoriasis may also develop psoriatic arthritis, which causes joint pain, stiffness, and swelling? Does this sound like you? Listen to what it sounds like to be a million miles away. Tremfya guselkumab, taken by injection, is a prescription medicine for adults with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis who may benefit from taking injections or pills or phototherapy, and for adults with active psoriatic arthritis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Imagine being a million miles away. Explore what's possible. Ask your doctor about Tremfya. Visit Tremfya.com or call 1-800-526-7736.
The second I see that Chick-fil-A text in the group chat, I'm throwing my shoes on and running out the door. Hey, I'm Layla.
And I'm Kaylin.
And a little thing we love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is
how it feels like an easygoing morning.
The chicken adds the most flavor. It's juicy and seasoned.
The biscuit is just very light and airy and fluffy, just like a cloud.
I also love to put jelly on mine so it's sweet and savory.
It's a good start to the day.
Mornings are a little bit brighter with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit and Simply Orange Juice. Available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real guests paid for their testimonials.
In a world in need of a hero, one man rises to the challenge in style. He is...
just driving the kids to soccer practice.
Make every day feel epic in the all-new Hyundai Palisade Hybrid with up to an EPA-estimated 619 miles of range on select trims, advanced tech, and class-leading interior space. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details.
And hey, come on, no cleats on the seats.
All-star coverage across Odyssey Sports is powered by Factor. Factor meals make it easy to feed your performance. Factor. Eat like a pro.
Back at it on 96.5 The Fan. Well done, Mac Morey. Props to you finding Mr. Jesse there.
Yeah.
Props to you on that. Using those Tennessee connects to get down into the Norman, Oklahoma connects, and then bringing the truth to the listeners. That's what they want. They want to know of the unknown. And
That's
now
right.
you know more about DeMarco Murray, because old friend alert, Ron Kopp Jr., listened to the interview, says he's going to do a write-up, and that he got excellent insight from that interview.
that's awesome.
So now the word
Perfect.
from the radio to the article
Good.
to everything. So go read it and go back and listen on the Odyssey app. If you are like Bob this morning, we're like, yeah, I mean, I know he played running back. I know he had a couple good years, but like, don't really know other than that. And then
I mean, how would any of us really know, other than if you cover the program, what a running back coach is doing at any university, or even in the pros for that matter, right? Like, we didn't know a year ago who the running back coach was in Kansas City and didn't care.
How many people knew Nathan Schillhouse was in the Los Angeles Rams?
I had no idea. Yeah, I thought he was still playing in
Mac didn't even know he was a
Illinois.
real person. Nah, it's no offense to Mac. He was obviously Kansas side and went to Tennessee for some time. But here's something that'll shock you. The cast of The Sandlot, 1993 movie, right?
That was 93.
The youngest member of that main cast is now 42 years old. Shane Obendinski, who played Tommy Timmons. So that is now the youngest cast member is 42 years old, if you wanted to feel old.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
Connor McDavid, does he get a gold medal or a Stanley Cup first?
Gosh. Because both are really great teams. Edmonton just can't beat the Florida Panthers.
That's right.
So, like, as long as the Florida Panthers
are they the
don't go
Mahomes to with Connor McDavid?
They're the Josh Allen.
Yeah, like Connor's Josh Allen, and the Florida Panthers are Patrick Mahomes.
I mean, McDavid's up there with athletes that are great because he's 29 years old, but that's getting up there for hockey players since he started playing when he was like, 20. I think he was like 19 or 20 when he started playing for Edmonton. But yeah, I mean, I think Finland won gold in hockey 4 years ago. Before that, I believe it was Russia. So Canada hasn't won at least in 8 years. Connor McDavid's been playing for 20, or not 20. He's been playing for 10. So yeah, I mean, it is worthy. I mean, what an absolute starting roster.
I know. Sidney Crosby, Connor McDavid, Nathan McKinnon, Sam Reinhart, and Cale, Baker? The last guy I have not heard of, but he's got, but look at the accolades, right? Stanley Cup, Conn Smythe, Norris, like twice. He's got a lot.
And then, of course, how is this the resume comes up, right? We talk about it, and it's like Sidney Crosby, 2-time gold medalist. Connor McDavid, nothing.
Nothing, yeah.
He's got accolades, but it's like from like junior league championships. But
he needs that title, right? And so I don't know if they
does
win
he
the
need
gold.
Both? Being Canadian?
Well, being Canadian, maybe you do, yeah.
Like, what's bigger for him, winning one for Edmonton or winning gold for your country?
Gold for your country, I think the World Baseball Classic, guys, is bigger for everybody who's playing in that than the World Series will be, because you're playing for your country and you wear that country on your chest. And I do. I think that's a big deal. Maybe it's not as big anymore as it was maybe when I was a kid. But you see these guys playing for their countries, man, it means something to them because for the most part, your country is your country. You play for a team one year, you play for a different team. You don't have that, that draw, that love. And everybody's watching. Like, this game is live right now. It just started, Canada versus the Czech Republic in men's hockey. I guarantee you up in Canada right now, the world has stopped.
I hope so.
The world has stopped right now in Canada. U.S. will play later on today. The world won't stop here when our
When's the last time a Canadian team won the NHL championship or the Stanley Cup?
Well, it's been a long time. It's been since the early 90s. I think it's been since like 92 or 3. I honestly do. I'm trying to think. I think Toronto it wasn't Toronto. I'm trying to think of who the last Canadian team to win the Cup, but I think it was in the mid-90s the last time that they've won a Stanley Cup.
92, 93.
I was
Good
right.
job,
Yeah. Who was
Montreal.
it? Montreal.
The Expos?
They were still around then, yeah.
Speaking of country, not Olympics, but World Cup information, you found out yesterday that England is going to use a base camp here, and I think they're going to be at...
They're at Swope Park.
They're at Swope. Argentina already announced they're going to be at the Sporting KC grounds.
Yep.
The Netherlands are coming to the Midwest and get a base camp out here. 3 massive countries, that play football base camping locally. That's awesome.
I mean, I will say this, and a lot of times we take these phrases and, everybody wants to claim they're the biggest, the best, and all that kind of stuff, right? For years, I've been hearing Kansas City as the soccer capital of America, and St. Louis has always wanted to argue that they believe they are the soccer capital of America. Sorry, Kansas City is the soccer capital of America. Not only do we have, 3 at least, World Cup games, we have arguably the 3 biggest countries basing here.
Yeah, you're just missing Spain and Brazil and Portugal, but you have Argentina, the Netherlands, and England.
I mean, that's insane. And they're the best of the best, and that means they're looking at our facilities and going, these are the best of the best. we want to be there. That's a feather in the cap for Kansas City that we have, 3 people with base camps here. And they were always talking about maybe, and it still could be, a potential 4th base camp out in Lawrence at the soccer facility that they've built out at KU. So there could be another base camp that ultimately gets announced. And we could have 4. We may not. We may just have the 3. But even still, with just the 3, it's 3 of the biggest soccer powers in the world that chose Kansas City. And those soccer powers aren't choosing rinky-dink operations. They looked at it. I bet you there was a dogfight for this kind of stuff.
Somebody said there's always the Edmonton Oilers boobs lady.
Yeah, there is that gal.
She was great.
Oh, my God, there's too much snow.
913 said, low-key forgot St. Louis existed, to be honest.
Yeah, I did too, yeah. Yeah.
And just look at all the bust up and down.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Man,
I love this. I just saw this on Matt Derrick's Twitter. Oklahoma in the last 6 years, 4 offensive coordinators, 2 head coaches.
Well, there you go. That and you're going to blame the running back.
Yeah.
4 offensive coordinators.
Yeah.
In how many years?
6.
6 years. Okay. Bigger carousel right now, college football or the fact that every Hardee's is closed?
Well, that sucks.
Or Oklahoma's coaching staff.
Yeah, I mean that is that really, when you look at that tells you why. I mean, you cannot continue to change offensive coordinators. Now, I will say this: maybe that's changed a little bit since you're no longer establishing programs in college. It is now a one and done type of thing.
But still,
if you're
air
trying
raid scheme to run scheme, now we're passing, now we're spread.
Exactly.
DeMarco's like, okay, well.
Every year you come in, and it's not just teaching the players, now you're coaching the coaches. Okay, I'm going to do the spread offense this year. Okay, that failed. Now I'm going to do the run and shoot. That failed. Now we're going to do the West Coast. That failed. I mean, so you're coaching your coaches, who are going to coach your players. And if the coaches have all the information blended too, it's like, I thought this was last year,
Yeah. What are they watching? Wrong answers only. Either way you want to look at it, I do like the fact that maybe since like DeMarco Murray is a old soul coach, maybe something that Jesse had also mentioned, that like the NIL and transfer portal, like maybe he's not about that life, because he is from like, older college days where I'm just speculating here that there might have been a duffel bag at DeMarco Murray's front door before he decided to go elsewhere and not Oklahoma. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that, but maybe he was like, man, like Saban, like these other guys, like, all right, F this, dude, I'm out. I'll go where they've already been established and where they're already getting paid and they know it and they're not gonna, their play, they could we're here, right? Like, yeah, you could obviously hold out and not play for that team, but that doesn't happen as much as you would think. Where do you rank Jay Williams as a college basketball analyst?
I don't have enough information to go on that, to be honest with you.
I think he's top 5.
I was going to say very high. Yeah.
I think, and this is a very wild take. It's a very wild take. But I think that motorcycle accident gave him the life and the better way than what might have been if he would have stayed in the NBA and played basketball.
Maybe.
Sometimes catastrophic events can lead you down a path of a different life. So Jay Williams said this on College Basketball Product. The college basketball product is better than the NBA product right now. Each night in college basketball, you're having top 15 matchups, and the best players are actually playing in games and competing every single night. Is he right or wrong?
Well,
I set you up for Darren Peterson.
I know. I mean, so I'm trying to factor it without Darren Peterson.
Like, are we losing the NBA before our eyes?
I mean, I've lost the NBA years ago, but that's just me.
Because I listened to Bill Simmons yesterday, and I know Mac did too, and he said it's an Adam Silver. He took literally what I was saying yesterday. I was like, this is an Adam Silver problem. And like, when there's a problem with somebody, the people that are around him, right? Like, if all the insects got together and realized they could kill the human race, they would, but that will never happen. But if all these people in the NBA that have a voice can come together and be like, dude, this guy's got to go. That's the problem with the NBA product, is Adam Silver.
But what's he doing, though? And you have to educate me because I'm not an NBA fan. But what's he doing? To me, I look at it and I say from a 30,000 foot view, as a casual at best basketball fan, I look at it and I think of the mind of a dad. And I've had a lot of people say this to me over the years. Like, we took our kids to Oklahoma City, or I've got friends in Pittsburgh that went to Cleveland and spent money, and guys aren't playing. I don't think it's Adam Silver at all. Quite frankly, I think it's the players, and America not with the appetite to watch players who make millions of dollars just decide to take a night off.
Well, who's allowing it?
Well, those are the rules that have been put in place, and nobody seems to go against them, right? Like, you don't hear the coaches complaining about it. Ultimately, it's the owners that got to come to this conclusion and tell the commissioner, what to do. But I think that's what it is for me. It's not about the commissioner. It's not about that. It's about the players. They're not relatable. They make a lot of money, and they sit out games. And for the average American who busts their ass every day, that doesn't fly.
Yeah, that is the casual view. Now, if you really go into it, that's changed, and Adam Silver has been a part of that with the load management, but he hasn't changed any of the tanking, and the game's completely changed from when David Stern was here and to when Adam Silver was here. We do need less games.
No doubt.
The game is completely different. The game of basketball, LeBron James talked about it, and they talked about it on the Bill Simmons podcast, and it was great. He's like, he's been playing for 20-plus years, and he says, I run way more than I used to. I have to stop and start way more than I used to. Guys who were 26, 27 years old didn't get Achilles injuries like they do now. They do because of this game, because of the way athletes are. We need less games. Adam Silver has to step in and do that if this sport's going to be fixed. It's really that simple. It's less games, and it's fixing the three-point shot because Nick Wright, excellent podcast yesterday from Bill and Nick Wright. It was tremendous. One of the best pods I've listened to in a long
like his
time.
All-Star idea?
Well, yes, I do like the All-Star idea, but he talked about how each sport has an identity, and I'll make this quick. Football, it's violence, right? MLB, it's our pastime. It's springtime. It's warm weather. It's friends. It's family.
Analytical.
Basketball, it's athletes. It's guys flying through the air. It's super tall guys moving ways you didn't know. 6-foot guys jumping over guys and dunking. Now with the three-point shot, we've taken away the most vital part of what we like about basketball. We need to bring back the athletic part of this.
That's a great point because college basketball is like that too, and kind of why I tuned out on that is like you just stand around the arc and take bad shots. And that's not entertaining.
The most efficient way to win the game is not the most entertaining, and that's not the way it is in football or baseball.
You've heard me say this, maybe you have or maybe you haven't. I think the three-point line in basketball is the worst thing to ever happen in sports, because it's just made people camp outside and just take shots that they're not capable of making. And maybe that's more of a college take than it is an NBA take. But I ultimately think you've got to capture the casual fan. All that stuff, I think, Mac, that you're talking about is for the diehard fan. How are you going to get Bob Fescoe to watch the NBA?
That's what I was saying. That's how you do it. Athletes, less three-point shots, more high flying. We need to get back to the concept of basketball.
But the guys need to be on the court and they need to be playing. And I'm with you about the number of games, but the owners, that's their money. That's how they make cash. How are you going to replace, let's say, 10 home games for every team when it comes to money and when it comes to TV revenue and all that kind of stuff?
None of that if they keep going this way.
And because those 10 home games that you're losing money on, you're losing in March and you're losing in April when all your stars are sitting and not playing and nobody's coming to the games. And then that's when your wallet gets affected, and that's when those people realize this does need to change.
But those guys, until you can show the owners, because we've had these conversations, until you can show these owners how they're going to make their money back, they don't care what the product looks like. As long as people are paying and going, that's all they care about.
I'm not saying get rid of the three-point line, by the way. That's not what I'm saying.
Move it back. You move the pitcher's mound up and down.
Nick Wright said make dunks worth 3 points, too.
Hey,
Loved
there
it.
you go.
Love that point.
Max Crosby back at it again on the reporter that he's done.